Morning. Welcome to Earth, where you are spending energy and willpower to hang out in this realm for a while. And how you spending your time while you're in this realm would be the question. Hey, Lee. Hey, Joe. King. Good to see you guys. It's me, your friend Eddie O, hosting the daily morning show here on the New Earth channel. A lot of good people out there supporting. I did not. Unforgettable. Anyway, see who's in the world today. What's in the news today? No news. We don't watch the news anymore, right? Right. Let's get some shares out here to the Wild Wild West. You guys want to come up? In the mornings we do panels. Don't talk about much. Yeah. Keep the vibe going nicely. Oh, but this isn't my friends list. I think someone really needs to figure out how to share better on TikTok. Sharing is just a nightmare. Well, I guess I'm just all alone here on this show. All these friends and people. Hey, I'd like to encourage you to share the live. Invite more friends. Have a cup of coffee or tea. It was like working a shift at the last Blockbuster. No one's walking in. No one's coming out. But hey, remember that movie, Kevin Bacon? He was like Invisible Man. What's that called? See-through Kevin Bacon. Let's get some friends. We got Just Jane. You're my friend. You can come hang out. Because we trendsetters. That's how we do. That's how we do. That's how we do. These are the people that know that you're here. They say you're here, but you do. Man, let's just play guitar. Maybe. 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 Hi, Jane.
Good morning.
Good morning, Jane. Jane, get me off this crazy thing.
Get you off this crazy thing.
Yeah, George Jetson, Jane Jetson.
Oh,
Jane, get me off this crazy thing.
oh yeah. That brings back some memories.
They gave us one about the past and one about the future, right? The Simpsons, I'm not the Jetsons and the Flintstones, made by the same
Right.
people.
Right.
What if it's actually backwards and the Jetsons came out first, and then the Flintstones are kind of living in a post-apocalyptic setting, similar to how we are, because we know that this world had castles all over it not too long ago. The architecture, the buildings, a lot of them still remain in the United States and look like Capitol buildings with these columns and coliseums. They claim they were built in the 1800s. That's not the case. No one built these with horse and buggies. So maybe it was the Jetsons and flying ships and machines and zeppelins and a world of magic and ether energy. And then kaputs kaputs. Then here comes the Flintstones who rise from the rubble in the bedrock. And now they're living in a society, but they don't really know what they're doing. So they're using the machines wrong. They're using the technology wrong. So maybe it's backwards, Jane.
That's mind blowing. That is an interesting perspective.
Well, good
So,
morning.
what you're saying is that we had technology way back in the way back, and then we have just worked ourselves way down to being in the Stone Age.
Yeah, and some of that technology still remains, like the garbage disposal's still there, but instead of using it how it's supposed to, we stick that bird under there that goes, "You think you have a crappy job," wah, 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 wah. So they're using all this stuff wrong because they're putting animals. Like if you look at the 1800s, they'll show trolley cars, like electric trolley cars, being pulled by horses because they didn't know how to use the technology that was already there. So they
Right.
just hooked up horses to them and said, "Yeah, this is cool." For some reason. I guess maybe not. Maybe not. Just Jane, you've been such a great welcome new to this channel and community. I'm just thrilled to know you. Your level of no on trivia, we got to know each other a little better. And then you're in the Discord talking to people and you're making other people smile.
Oh, well, thank you. It's finally nice. It's nice to finally find the community I've been looking for because it is on a daily life a little bit of a struggle.
Yeah, it is, and hopefully it's like that just triggered me a little bit. Like it's not like a gang or a neighborhood because then people will say like community and then community versus community. It's like nah, the community idea of the community is like no community,
No,
right?
this is definitely a community that would be welcoming to anyone who's ready to step up to this level. It, there's
I
no
hope.
gang colors are flying here.
Okay, Kelly. What's up, Shade? Morning.
What's up? I'm tanning right now. What are you doing?
Fucking, I'm tanning too. It's gonna take us years, years and years.
I'm a ginger, so I get burnt. See, I get burnt, and then I get a little bit of tan on top of the burn.
I'm the same, man. Like, and I get red and then like very little. But I've been trying to get a lot more sun this year, especially, and the like sun gazing. Like even with my eyes closed, I'll try to look at the sun a little bit, and with the grounding, that's part of our diet, which is legit. That's good, man. Nice day where you're at, or is that just a background filter because this is the internet and you're not really outside? And that's not really your
No,
body.
those are the real clouds. See, they're everywhere.
Nice, man.
How
Good.
have you been, Eddie?
Fucking since yesterday, fine. What you been playing on for a game lately?
I haven't been playing shit, man. I've been watching TV shows.
Hmm.
I've
What
been
have you been
watching
watching?
Game of Thrones and Monster Hunter, or Demon Slayer. I mean, not Monster Hunter.
Oh, Demon
Demon
Slayer.
Slayer.
Yeah. How's Demon Slayer?
Pretty dope. I'm on the episode where they're fighting the demon, where when you cut off its head, it uh it just turns into new demons.
Did it turn to two heads? Each head
Yeah,
cut
it
off.
turns into two new bodies. So now they're fighting five demons.
Was that the Hydra? the Hydra dragon. Like if you cut off the head of a Hydra, two heads would
That's
grow out
basically
of it.
what it feels like, man. Because usually when you cut off their head, they're supposed to just unalive, but they
Yeah.
didn't do that this time.
The thing with Hercules and the trials of Hercules, Hercules had to fight the Hydra, so every time he cut off one of its heads, two snake heads would grow back, and so he would have to cut the head off and then cauterize it with a torch, I guess. So if that's got some allegory and some meaning to our lives, what does it mean? You ever try and stop a problem and it gets worse?
Yeah, that's what's happening to me right now. I'm trying to fix my light language and fix my life, so I get more motivation and stuff, and it's not working out for me. But
You want to elaborate on that? I know you've been talking about light language, about feeling in different, like, you want to talk about it?
yeah, so basically, when I used to speak light language, it used to be like all images and understandings, and now I don't get any of that. I just kind of talk to people on like a lower level, like a 3D level of existence, whereas I used to be on like a 5D level existence.
With other humans?
Yeah.
What do you take from that? How would you analyze that if you were analyzing someone else going through what you're going through, or not even going through? Maybe it's probably good for you. I'm sure it is, but
I was possessed by Enlil. That's what happened.
by a new
Enlil.
Enlil,
Yep, he possessed me.
and that removed the ability to clearly feel light language through people when communicating. Do you feel connected
Yep.
anywhere?
Yep.
Do you think that's been removed?
Yeah, I don't think Enlil's here anymore. I had people pray over me and stuff, and now it's kind of gone, but I still don't have my light language back yet. And I talked to somebody who's like a reader, and I asked her the question, when am I going to be able to speak light language like I used to before Enlil? And she said, I probably never will. So that was sad to hear, but hopefully it just turns into something new. Hopefully the light language advances and turns into like a brand new form of like encoded light.
Yeah. Yeah, well, that's like the reverse to cut one head off and two come out. Every time we lose something, it seems to be replaced with something twofold. So maybe it's the loss of the head, not the cutting off the head that I'm focusing on the Hydra. The loss of the Hydra allows two like be a split a flower or something. Does it grow into two flowers? I don't know if that works.
I wish cutting off a flower would grow back 2 flowers.
Yeah, I don't think it works. You can't knock down the middle anyway. You ever see when
Yeah.
someone takes like a flower of trees and they like splice them into the side and stick a different type of plant in like a tree or something or in the bark of a tree and it grows from it?
Never seen that. That's cool though.
Oh, it's neat. Like it's not like they're not splicing the DNA and creating something new, but the flower, like the if you had like a stalk and they slice it at an angle and they open it up, they'll put something else in there and close it back up, and that will seed itself into the roots. It's I've seen some elaborate things. It looks like it's one tree with like multiple types of flowers thriving and growing inside it. I
Wow.
think I heard a good story about somebody that had like a tomato seed stuck in their gums and it grew for a while and they were causing a major tooth pain and they had like a little sprout in their mouth and their jaw. Eat the dog.
Janae, how are you?
I'm good.
That's what we used to call you, right, Janae?
Right. Everybody
Try to
always has a
dump
pretty
coconut
way to
water on
say
you.
my name. When people call me by my correct name, I don't answer them because I'm not used to it. I am doing fantastic today. I woke up with just a super positive attitude, and it is working out well for me.
I like that background, Eddie. What is it?
This is my house.
Oh,
There's
that looks
stairs.
trippy.
Yeah. It was like in a bunch of DNA pictures and stuff. I was doing like Caduceus and DNA pictures, and then spiral staircases, Jacob's ladder, up the stairs, down the water slide. You know, the secrets are in the spine, in the spinal column, and our nervous system. It's where it is. You know, what I'm trying to figure out is that we're electric, right? Our nervous system's based on electricity. So I'm electric right now. Plug me in. I'm an electric kind of guy. So if I'm electric, how is my body continuously making electricity to thrive? Now, what is keep coming into the body is oxygen, right? So oxygen, you breathe it in, and it goes all through your blood, moves around your blood, oxygen to the brain, oxygen. So somehow our body is taking oxygen and converting it to electricity, right? I don't know though. I'm not a scientist, but somehow our body is taking oxygen, like the air, not etheric energy, but just oxygen itself, and creating electricity. Not hydrogen, like a hydrogen bomb, or like the breaking up of molecules to create it, but just oxygen itself. Otherwise, how are we staying turned on the whole time? Like, you know, we must have some kind of recharging like manifold in us that keeps us electric, right? I have no follow up on that, but
Well, we do have base metals in our body. We have iron
yeah,
and copper and
sure. So we have pieces like a battery. If we say
right. And
we're like a battery, anodes and cathodes, and you know what? It's probably something that like is like a repressed technology, and they know like how we're like Frankenstein. They just had to jumpstart Frankenstein, and he kicked back on. I don't know. What is life force? But once the life force is the jumpstart, how are we doing this? How are we maintaining by getting sleep? You go to sleep and recharge your batteries. No, the sun. Yeah, the sun. Right? Joe, come tell us what's up. School us, Joe. Tell us. Jenny from the car. Oh, good.
What's up?
Jenny
What's up?
and
Good morning.
Jenny and Joseph. What's up, players? Good morning. Thanks for coming up.
Doing all right. Well, we charge in the morning with the sun, but at night you need a ground, like with an element of water, fire, air, the earth. And it's all about what you eat too. I mean, it can be, but you got to release all the negativity. To the ethers. Sun gazing is actually discharging.
Hi, Eve. Hi,
Hey.
Alicia. Every
I'm
time.
here with Eve. It's on my
Oh,
day
there's Eve.
off.
Hi, Eve. What are you wearing today?
So I'm still home.
What is Eve wearing
Hopefully my
today?
son doesn't want to go anywhere. The weather's bad anyway.
How has your adventurous days been the last couple of days?
Good.
Yeah?
Like, I just went to places around the area in the Berkshires. Like,
Yeah.
ski resort that has an alpine slide, a mountain coaster. Went
I saw
down
that
that.
slide. That looked cool.
But I
Joe,
was
thank
hoping
you
to
for your
take a
stuff,
beach
Joe.
trip,
I
but...
appreciate you, Joe.
Huh?
No, Joe just dropped down. I said, I appreciate you, Joe. Just dropping some knowledge bombs about the sun. Yeah, there was no beach day, though.
No, but I think this weekend it's going to clear up, so maybe then.
Yeah, it was pretty misty out this morning here in central Massachusetts. Coming from me from Massachusetts, it's 10:22 a.m. Eastern Standard on the New Earth Channel.
Hi, neighbor. I'm in Connecticut.
Oh, no shit, Jenny. Eve's the dog. Her name is actually Alicia, if you guys aren't buddies already.
Hi, Alicia. How you doing?
Welcome back
Hello,
to
good to
Pizza.
meet you.
Nice to
New
meet you
England,
too.
New England taking over. Celtics, baby. It's different around here.
Listen, I'm from Springfield, Mass. I get it.
Oh, that's not far from me.
Got
Still need that, baby.
Massachusetts in the house.
But I'm from the Berkshires, in which we pronounce our R's where we live.
That's racist. Yeah, people always say it to me, and I don't think I have an accent. People don't think they have an accent in Massachusetts. Like, what are you talking about? I don't have an accent. Maybe other people do, but we don't. People call me out on TikTok all the time. And it's a slight classism. It's a slight classism. How far away from is it
It's
from
you guys
racism?
like
They're like,
you're my second language. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I hear you and I'm like, oh, that's home. That's home.
I guess I'd notice it if I ever got the frig out of my freaking state. Isn't TikTok cool though? Talking to people from like Australia. Like I have friends in Turkey. I have friends in Australia. Like Shade, you know Ruya. We're friends like Ruya from Turkey. And she's a channeler. She channels spirits. It's like all these. It's like the Goonies on a global scale. It's like who are the super oddballs of oddballs?
That's
Who's
a
the
really good
president of these
comparison.
oddball towns?
And I think it's amazing because we're also meeting like soul family members, and I think we're all spread out for a reason. Like we're supposed to like anchor in, positive energy, source energy, and create like a web across this world. Like I too have now made friends who are all over this planet, and it's
Where
amazing.
our
And
physical
really,
placement, our
everything's
physical
just
timeline.
energy anyway. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interject.
Oh, please. There's nothing like that.
Everything's
There's no apologizing on this panel. This is not a safe
mhm,
space. This is where you can talk. You can talk over each other. So none of that. Raise your hand if you want to speak, Alicia.
mhm.
But I was just saying the location. I want you to talk about the location and why, like, grid it out. That makes sense. That hits. Makes sense.
Yep. So mindfully anchor in that source energy and spread it to the collective consciousness, and really just everything's just energy anyway. So separation's an illusion. Space and time is an illusion. There's just a web. Like we're all connected anyway.
Aren't we though? Bodhi,
Yes.
you gonna get electrocuted out there? Are you gathering electricity?
I feel like I'm gaining a lot of heat from the sun. I really hope it doesn't turn into a worse sunburn than it was yesterday.
Well, there's a Hydra complex. You start trying to do something good and cut the head off, and something double bad happens. You're going out there to get some color and tan, and now you're going to be burnt up.
You're probably right, but my legs turned red and then they turned tan. My legs are pretty tan right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look at me and you. Yeah, me and you know about tan and color, bro. I can't even go to the beach. I get electrocuted.
Wow.
It's crazy. It's actually traumatizing. I had really fucking rough skin growing up. I had bad acne for a long time when I was like I thought it was bad acne. I was the end of the world. But this fucking Irish skin, because we're freaking clones, when you make clones, they're always like clear. So we're like borderline clear clone generation from the Cabbage Patch Babies. But that's not good morning talk. Good morning. Don't forget to follow, like, and subscribe. Tap that screen. 132 likes. Tia's going to be there. Let's tap that
Good
screen.
morning.
What's up, Timeline?
Oh, I just landed at work and I thought I'd crawl up onto somebody's live and hang out and listen for a while.
That'll make us feel very special. Thanks for calling
Yeah,
on us. Well,
but
tell us
I'll
where you work.
definitely I'll hit the, I'm sorry, what?
Not good. Continue, please.
I know I said I'll hit the mute here and so I can tap the screen without you guys hearing it. And yeah, I'd like to listen a little more before I chime in. I kind of don't really know what you guys are talking about right now. So, yeah, I'll mute, tap, and listen. And if I feel like I have something to say, maybe I can say it.
Here. It's a timeline. It's a timeline. Yeah. I like your picture. What do you want to
Yes.
talk about?
Did you say timelines? I do
Yes.
believe we have to focus on the timeline of the greatest good of all
Yes, me
and
too. Stay
not
on the high
feed
timeline.
into the negative timelines that the evil forces want us to.
Or the non-highest timeline for your sake. Yes, I always do out loud consents, like whatever is like, don't let people even come around me and do like protection spells. I've had other people do it to me. I'm like, people that are not interested in my highest timeline, stay the fuck away from me.
Yeah.
That's not exactly how it went, but I had a couple people that I trust to do. I'm like, I went through a relationship breakup not too long ago, and I was like hurting and stuff like that. So I'm like, my highest timeline might not have been in consideration. This is a spiritual being. So then I was like, if it ain't really for my really higher good, like, you can't keep like a little ego in your pocket, just a little bit in case I want to have that. I'm doing so much good though. I'm doing so much for God and service. I'm just gonna keep a little for myself, just a little in my back pocket. Nah, can't do that at all. You just gotta really let like 100% or don't even bother.
It's interesting because in my experience, I'm 53 years old now, and in my experience through life, I found that the pendulum always swings in the opposite force. So from negative to zero to positive, and then swings back again. And if you can embrace that and know that truly, then you can know that your hardest times in the same measure will be your upcoming most positive times.
It's a nice coping mechanism. I like that a lot, and it's true. Well, thank you.
Yeah, I finally learned to embrace the challenges because I realize our souls came here for soul development purposes. And how else would we develop if everything was always just peace and love and light? I just believe that these challenges really just ultimately expand our soul, and it's an amazing thing. And what's everyone doing today? Are you guys on vacation too?
Vacation? What's that? I'm always on vacation. I'm always working.
Mm-hmm.
I'm unfortunately at work.
What do you do for work?
I kind of do everything. I'm a plant specialist, and I've been here for 8 years now. And I do everything from plastic welding, loading, unloading trucks, help fix electrical issues, engineer problems, even cleaning. Oh my God. Inventory, everything. I do everything.
That's good that it's hands-on work, and I take it you're moving your body around a lot while working, so that's healthy to not have to just sit all day. Very nice.
Yeah, it's definitely like keeping my body in perpetual motion, but I'm absolutely exhausted when I get home. Because I'm getting up there.
Uh,
I try to go fishing and berry picking and that sort of thing, just to reconnect with nature.
Oh, yeah, so important. Like, humanity was never meant to be disconnected from the natural world. We need to make contact with the earth, soak in that electromagnetic energy, which is healing, your source energy. That's
I'm
what I
ready
do
for a
too. Like
change.
I'm a social worker, but luckily my schedule permits me to take long breaks, and I'll go and sit in nature for my break. And like literally like run to the hills sometimes if I had a rough day of work, like and just hike, and I feel most at peace in nature.
I'm ready for a change. I used to run my own business for years, for about 13 years when I was raising my daughter, and um, I was it's the technical term for it's called a, a lamp worker, but basically it's making glass beads and little trinkets for jewelers, and I sold them worldwide. So you melt glass on a torch and then you kiln it and all that for
Oh, that's
jewelry.
awesome.
And I I did
Mhm.
it for that long, but I got very acute lead poisoning even with good ventilation
Oh
because when you
no.
burn glass it puts off a lead fume. So I couldn't tolerate it any longer and I needed to find work close to where I live because I'm in remote Alaska, and so I had to just take the first thing that came along, and this was it. And I haven't found the courage to split away from it yet, even though I have several business ideas using nature, like making tinctures and uh, lotions, and out of just the natural wildlife that grows around my yard,
Hmm.
stuff like that. I haven't found the courage to leave yet.
Or Noah, did you ever do work with resin? And know it's beautiful to collect tiny like little pieces of fern or flowers and then put it like make a piece of jewelry with items from nature and just fill it in with resin. That would make amazing beads and stuff.
Ooh,
Hmm.
I like that idea.
Yeah, because what you were
Ooh,
describing made me think of that.
I just got like tinglies like all over me when you said that, and I
Hmm.
pictured it in my mind. I think I'm going to have to do a little bit of
Yeah, try
research
it
on
out.
resin work.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Well, resin makes me think of clicking and liking the live. Please share the live with all your friends. 5 friends takes a second. Help the algorithm, help the al grow, and I'll grow, and we'll grow with the algo. Subscribe down below. We have 3 subscription tiers you subscribe to for different content that's only available when you do subscribe. And you get stickers. You can have on your own sticker of Rio, of Inner Light, an Inner Light sticker. Did you always want an Inner Light sticker of your own? Up next week, we're going to have a shade sticker is going to be part of the collective. So if you want to have a special shade sticker, you can only have by subscribing. You know, doesn't get more real than that. Follow us on YouTube. Help us
You
break
got a
that
guest
50
request, by the way,
subscriber
Dio.
mark. We are. This is like that. It's a picture radio. It's a television vision telly. Did you know that, airplanes came first? So it starts with airplanes were in the sky. All the airplanes were flying around. And then they started making airplanes on the ground and they called them terrain planes. And we shortened that word to trains. But first it was airplanes and then the terrain planes came. We call them trains now. That's not true. But Jan,
Hey,
it could be because the
did
Jetsons
you
came before
just
the
change your
Flintstones.
voice? You
What?
just went from, did you just change your voice to an accent? That was kind of cool.
Because I am an actor.
I can
Calculon
do
the Great.
one. I can do one.
Let's go.
It's solely it's my daughter's fault. So when I was raising her, she never, when she started getting up in her adolescence, she wouldn't listen to me very often. But I noticed that she listened to her Siri, or not Siri, but Alexa a lot. And so one morning, to get her up for school, I opened her door and I said, "Hello, it is time to wake up for school."
Sounds just like her.
That's great.
And her eyes got really wide, and she lifted her head slowly off the bed and looked at me. And she's like, "Mom!" It was funny. So I would address her with the Alexa voice all the time.
Well, we do some comedy sketches here on the channel that we're putting together content for YouTube. And when we need the character for the voice of Siri, guess where I'm going?
Alexa.
Alexa, right. Well, they know each other. In this sketch, they're probably going to know each other.
Alexa has a much better character.
That's great.
No, I'd be more than happy to.
Alexa, can I ask you a question? Can I ask Alexa a question? Alexa.
Go ahead.
Alexa.
Mm-hmm.
That's not what Alexa sounds like. Alexa doesn't say mm-hmm.
Yes, she does.
Okay, all right. Let me start over then. I don't know. I don't have an Alexa. I'm just pretending I know because I do that. I pretend I know for some reason sometimes. Hey, Alexa.
Mm-hmm.
How come I feel lacking in validity and seek validation from unhealthy sources?
You have a personality and character to heal those that are wounded.
Wow. She does a pretty good job.
Right. Kind of beside myself. Alexa.
Yes.
My body has been changing rapidly in the last couple of years, and I think I'm not sure why it's getting so healthy now, being a middle-aged man. Why is everyone's body getting better?
Fundamentally, you have changed your diet.
What about aliens working on our DNA and changing us while we're asleep?
I'm sorry, I do not know how to answer that question.
Who are the 13 families? Who are the people in China? Good,
I actually do know how to answer the question, but
I know.
It's hard for me to answer in just kind of a generic Alexa kind of way that she would.
Okay, well, okay. Go for it. I was kind of just being coy too, but please elaborate on the fact. Gabe, Oscar.
So, there are times in your sleep where it feels like you're leaving your body, and you may see it as astral projection, but you're actually getting taking your energy is getting taken and reconstructed and then placed back into you. I don't know, like when you feel that, when you're sinking gently back into your body, feeling. That's not, a lot of people think that's astral projecting, but that's actually having your energy, it's getting rewired, remapped. And I couldn't answer that with Alexa because I can barely answer it in just my normal voice when it comes to deep stuff like that. But you kind of threw me off there with that very deep and complex question.
Not me. What's up, Oscar? What's up, Gabe? What's up, Willow? The tic-tac-toe board is complete. You guys don't want to put our cameras on and do the Brady Bunch?
Like the Brady Bunch.
You want to do it? Everyone put your camera on?
What's up, Eddie-O?
The Brady Bunch.
Shade, you got to be Alice.
Trust me, I can't put my camera on right now.
Why? What's up, bro?
Just trust me.
No, you probably are presentable. I don't have makeup on or anything. Well, I don't even wear makeup, barely.
Oscar, you buy a hair gun?
Makeup.
I feel you. I
But
just had to brush my hair before I turned my camera on.
Yep. All natural's best anyway.
Oh, Gabe, you're just tired? This isn't some dramatic solar flare event. You're good, though? All right.
So I got an answer
yeah,
to your electricity
you
in the
get
body.
you get a violation.
Oh, yeah, you're kind of
You
thing.
get
So
a
it's like,
violation.
yeah, it's like,
I'm
it's like
I'm
8 in the
covering up
morning,
my.
right? Right.
Oh,
Good.
sorry. I'm covering up my work emblem, so you guys don't know where I work. But here's my work. Here's my shop.
Interesting.
Okay. So where did Peter Brady show up? In the top where Jane is? Or is he a Gabe? And then Mrs. Brady? There's a story. The way that the story goes, there was a story of a man named Brady who is, it starts with one big square and then he goes to the little square. I'm going to edit this together for a CapCut thing. So anyone wants to be on the Brady Bunch promo for New Earth channel, that's what we'll do. It's the New Earth.
I will.
Yeah, I know you will. And I appreciate you wholeheartedly. The other video, the new ad coming out pretty soon. So the editing's getting worked on and Cosmic's been working on it. So it's moving quite along. Gabe, your contribution, Oscar, you guys can't wait to see. And you can always see stuff early if you subscribe and become a subscriber or subscribe to the YouTube channel. I just made that up, but it's true. So what's good, Willow?
We all have to look at each other at like different angles and stuff, and then like screen record it.
Yeah, right. And you're looking down, and
Right.
but we'll have to I'll have to watch the Brady Bunch so we'll each just know like what we're supposed to do, so we can. Right. If we're gonna mock something, you got to do it well.
We got to do it perfect. Yeah.
Shade's got the Peter Brady hair. We get Shade to do his hair like not Peter Brady, fucking the father.
Here, I'll part my hair down the middle.
I guess Jan.
Like they did.
Sorry, Jan. You're still Jan.
No, I'm Marsha.
You're Marsha. You're definitely Marsha, Alicia. Young, I think you're Bobby. Gabe, you're the youngest boy. Or you're Peter. I'll be the oldest boy.
Yeah, that's who I am. I'm Peter.
I'm mom of 3 boys. I'll be Alice. Might as well.
That's why I can't get on. That's why I can't get on live right now.
Yeah, none of no Peters on here. Not that type of Peter.
There you go. Somebody finally got what I was saying.
Yeah, my mind goes there.
You know, they were willing to try to make it work. It's like, I got 3 kids, you got 3 kids, you want to make this work? And it worked, man. It worked. I was always nervous about that stairwell, though. I was like, someone's going to fall off those stairs. And the husband was an architect. They're like, oh, Peter, he's an architect. It's like, well, he should have built some better fucking stairs for the 100 kids. Stairs, see today's stairwell? Welcome back to the bunch. Hey, good morning, everybody. I got my coffee.
Aww.
Hey, what's up?
What a cutie.
You got eye boogers? Me too.
I should make my son come on. No, he'd be pissed. My baby's 6'2" and 15 years old. He's a big boy.
Don't put it near my eye. Then my eye's going to be itchy.
Oh, dude, my 18-year-old is 6'3".
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Well, my son's going to take after his grandpa, who's 6'4", but he might surpass that.
I know. I had an uncle who was 6'6".
Oh, wow.
And then I have a female cousin who's 6'1".
Oh, wow.
Yes, the land
Like,
of
I'm pretty
giants.
tall. I'm about 5'9", but
I'm 5'5", dude. I'm like, I don't know where I got the recessive gene.
yeah. And earlier we mentioned, Eddie mentioned that he feels as though might even be reverse aging. He said something along those lines. I believe that like the more you meditate, the more you mindfully anchor in the source energy, we can rejuvenate and upgrade our DNA and reverse age. Because I'm a lot older than I look too.
Yeah, same.
And
no one
also,
ever believes me when I'm like, oh, I'm this age. They're like, no, you're not. I'm like, no, for real. No, I am, dude.
and I still wear glasses, but my eyesight is improving, even though like I'm pushing mid 40s. And that was odd. And I think I attribute it to I left the business sphere and went back to my degree field in social work and counseling. And I like, since doing soul purpose work again, I feel more rejuvenated and happy. And I think that contributed to me sort of, being more youthful. Plus I'm working with kids, which keeps me more youthful too.
Yeah, it's if you can find something to do that doesn't stress you out all the time, because stress is really, everyone says it's like the medical issues, like, oh, it's heart attack, it's this, it's that. It's not, it's stress. Stress is actually the number one unaliver of humans, dude, because we're so stressed out all the time.
How do I get on your level of enjoying kids and them keeping you young? Because it does the exact opposite over here for me. All right. So whatever youth fountain you guys found with your children and they keep you young, my freaking blood pressure's through the goddamn roof.
Yeah, the kids and babies are so easy. But teenagers, oh my gosh.
Oh, they're so hard.
My son.
Hey, Chris,
I
what's up?
love them. But when you think about it, if they like always remained sweet like they were when they were a kid, how would you ever let them leave the nest,
Not mine. They're not sweet by any means.
Yeah, not as teenagers. Like once they hit their teens, oh my gosh.
Nope. This 4-year-old right next to me is he's really not the nicest of nice. Swear to God.
I think I'll get
Hey, Eddie.
I gotta go get ready to work out. Will you drop me?
Like a bad habit, bro. Get out of here. Scram.
Oh, we need a new member. We're not the complete
We're not part of the bunch anymore.
Well, we can't have a new member until we tap that screen. Let's get a little bigger to make it easy for people to tap the screen. We will go like this. Right?
What am I, chopped liver?
No, you're good. Can't switch me.
Can I just say you hosting trivia was like the best thing ever for me the other night when I came across that.
You're gonna.
You were awesome. You were so awesome at hosting it.
That's great. When I was a little kid, that was one of the jobs I wanted when I grew up. And this isn't why I'm doing it, but I wanted to be a game show host when I was a kid.
You nailed it so good. You did such a good job.
Hey, you know what? It happens every Friday here on the New Era channel, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I think we're a month strong on trivia now. I believe this will be our 5th episode coming up. And it actually is fun. I am a pretty smiley guy that you guys know. I don't laugh really in real life and smile and laugh. People walk up to me and like, why don't you smile, Ed? When I'm doing that trivia show and I'm laughing, I am fucking laughing. Alicia and the show last Friday with Twilight Sparkle, I was rolling on the floor laughing. There's some real moments. And it's light. It's light. It's not, but it's still, you can get some information. We can have good community.
Exactly.
What's the key word that we're all looking for is enlightenment. Enlighten. Like just lighten up. Bashar does it, right? Lighten up.
You found your groove.
Well, it's all part of the New Earth plan to make content. And now, that was my idea. Like, Tia and I were throwing content ideas around. So now I can take that, and at any given point, I can like pass the hosting duty and say, Alicia, Oscar, Gabe, one of those guys are now the hosts of trivia, and I can go create something else, right? Or I come up with a new idea for a new show, and then go to a new piece of content. We're going to try and get a lot more workshops in. Willow did a workshop in the Discord that was pretty awesome not too long ago. I saw some of you there, but it was like, I don't know why there wasn't freaking 40 people in there or something. This is valid stuff. And through now YouTube incorporation, it's like lives are great. Lives are overrated, man. It's over. But once it's on YouTube and it's there, and you can go back and revisit it and listen to these things, imagine hearing some of the stuff for the first time or something. It's like that catches your eye, but a lot probably goes over someone's head, perhaps. We don't realize how much we're catching with communication going back and forth amongst each other. We're netting a lot of the information coming at us, where other people, this stuff might be flying past their head, and once in a while, someone smacks them in the forehead of knowledge bomb. But, anyone can benefit from watching it again. So creating pieces of content versus, it's both, I guess, and a thing to do, because the content is this is like a reality show, but it's, it kind of is not like what a negative connotation that has attached to it. But like this whole TikTok thing, I'm going to drop the plane on this one, but like I can imagine long ago in the Emerald Tablets and Thoth and Hermes Trismegistus and the Wise Watchers and the Fates of Destiny were like, and one day the humans will gather on something called TikTok. They'll know that the time is running out. The clock is winding down. We'll give them the sign. It's called TikTok. If they don't get it from that.
I think it did trigger a movement. Did trigger more people to have an awakening. Since we all were expressing our consciousness to each other and expressing concepts that others may not have known yet. Not like this stereotypical New Age movement. That's not what I'm referring to, but just, expressing spirituality, but not, in a, sort of commercialized way, like authentically.
A lot of healing and removal of samsara. A lot of that is quite popular. That's the drug of choice, is removal of suffering, healing, and peacefulness. That's what we're handing around the corner.
Well, I actually don't really believe that we can remove our suffering, you guys. We can learn to suffer with grace.
Well,
right, and understand that there's lessons within the suffering, and that's why it's happening.
Okay, lesson. The word lesson is to lessen the suffering. Let's lessen the amount of suffering, so you can alleviate some of it, right?
What does suffering mean?
Someone turned on a fan and it started muffling. Yeah.
Muffling, suffering, and muffling.
So according to Buddhism, suffering comes from attachment.
Yeah.
Right. But here's the thing, is that we don't live unattached. We are constantly connected. We connect with each other. Right. And so we're energetically attached to each other and the natural worlds and the cosmos and all of the things at all times. But I really believe that it's more of a changing your mindset, right? Your perspective and your perception of the suffering. So instead of saying, I am, I don't have any money, and so therefore I am suffering, instead looking at it as oh my God, I'm sorry, you guys. Every time. My freaking dogs, dude, there's so many of them. But I have a ton of dogs. I have a ton of animals in general. Instead of looking at it as this is a point of suffering, right? That comes from the attachment to a specific thought process, right? A specific idea. So if we can learn to let go of the specificity of it and instead learn to live in the flow of the moment, then I believe that actually lessens our suffering, because y'all, I live with hardly anything. Like, I am fond of saying I'm a simple human living a simple human life, right? Because there's not like a ton of financial abundance over here, but it doesn't matter because everything is always taken care of. So that's I think that's really kind of more what it is. Suffering is, so I tell my kids.
More of what it is than what? It's more of what it is than what? I'm sorry? Just to observe, Willow, as we do. You said it's more than what. You were comparing what you just said to something. You said, I think it's more than what.
Yes, totally. I'm about to make the point. I'm about to make that point. You didn't miss anything. Good. You got it. Okay. I tell my kids all the time, because they always say, this is hard. It's hard. And I said, yes, dude. Yes, it's hard, but you get to choose your hard. So do you want the hard of living in a mindset of lack, or do you want the heart of growth? Because they're both hard, right? Everything is hard. There's nothing in this world that's really, really easy.
Well, it's not hard. It just requires work. Because you
Yes,
say it's
well,
gonna be
exactly.
hard.
That's exactly what I'm saying. Because changing your mindset, changing your perception is not easy. It requires work. That's the thing, right? You're absolutely right, Young O. Like, it requires work. Everything requires work. Staying in a state of, in a mindset of lack and in a state of perpetual suffering is also work. Everything is work. Everything is hard. So you get to choose.
Right.
Like, choose which direction you want to go.
Yeah, like Willow, I resonate with you so much. That's what they mean by, you know, make sure you're guiding that flow of energy. And basically what you're doing with your son, you're programming him, because all this suffering comes from our paradigm, our mental program that was basically the way we're programmed from the moment we're born till we become conscious of that. That's what you're explaining. I learned the term was paradigm. This means like a mental program that controls us. It controls our habitual behavior, and our emotions are also habitual, like our default emotions to day to day. If you're not feeling good, you kind of gotta program yourself to feel good, and it requires work. Everything is work. I used to say everything was hard, but it's because I didn't want to work. But if you find something you love, that work is totally worth it.
What you said, all of you are expressing such divine wisdom. And another method to help perform better and achieve goals and manifest is self-hypnosis. Do any of you know self-hypnosis techniques?
I used to drink.
Well, good thing you got over that, because that's low vibrational.
I meditate and breathe for
Garbage.
self-hypnosis.
You want to lead us in a meditative group meditation?
Repetition helps out.
Like
Like
do a breathing exercise. Let's run a breathing exercise. Someone want to do it?
Who are you talking to?
Anybody? Someone want to do a breathing
I
exercise?
could do a
in moment?
guided meditation, and when it
Don't
comes to
mind.
that self-hypnosis
You
I
want to
was
do one?
describing.
You want to do one now?
Okay, I could, yeah.
If you don't mind?
I have time, yeah. It's my day off.
Thank you.
Start off, sorry, excuse me, I'm just relaxing in bed. I have an intense job, so it's good to have a day off just laying in bed all morning. But anyway, start off with some rhythmic breathing, like deep breathing. Like to inhale through your nose to the count of a slow count of 4. Hold it for the count of 4. And then exhale for a count of 4. And do like that box breathing. Next, we need to relax our bodies. Focus on every muscle group. Like, for instance, start with your toes. Clench your toes tight, then release. And as you release, visualize like negative energy flowing out, your tension and negative energy flowing out. And work your way up with every muscle group. Like next, tighten your calves, release. Let that tension flow out. Your legs, tighten, release. Your abs, your chest, your fists, your jaw, clench that jaw and release. Your brows, furrow your brows and release. Because we want to try to get us into a theta brainwave state. That's the purpose of this. Next, close your eyes and visualize a huge staircase. Like, I like to visualize, you know, that Mexican pyramid that has a flat platform on top and many stairs going up. I forgot the name of it.
It's Mayan, isn't it?
I think it's Mayan, yes. And so focus on the steps. Focus on, like, really use your mind's eye. Visualize that you're standing in front of those steps and you're taking your first step. And then slowly make your way up every step, focusing on each step. like I have a keen imagination. Like I even imagine as I'm progressing up the stairs that I'm looking at the height I'm at, looking at the view as I work my way up, the view down below. Keep focusing on going up those steps. And then eventually you reach the flat platform on top of the pyramid. Once you're on that platform, imagine what it is you want to obtain, your goal, or something you want to program yourself about. Like, for instance, say you have a job interview and you want to perform really well. You can visualize that your interview is taking place. Watch yourself doing the interview and acing all the questions and effortlessly doing so and having zero anxiety and having all of the proper remarks come to your mind, and just, not getting flustered. That's something I've utilized it for. Or if you want to manifest something, imagine it coming to you. Imagine it's already yours. Feel in your heart that you've already obtained it and feel what it's like to have it so that you're at that vibration to attract it. So once you accomplish what you want to do, what you want to program your subconscious with, then you just make your way back down the stairs. And it is an effective technique. Like you can even increase your intelligence even using that technique. It's just a way to reprogram your subconscious mind and perform better. And like I said, manifestation, and it's an amazing thing. Just try it out every night.
To add on to that, what helped me out with what you do, try to do the same thing, but consciously or meditating. I had to be mindful of my emotions. I had to understand what each emotion is, because when I would want certain things, emotions will basically pull my attention somewhere else, and then I'll go back to that old paradigm, that old program, and then I forget about the one I'm trying to manifest. So one thing is being mindful to pause, to breathe, and just stay focused on whatever that goal is.
For more life hacks, follow Oscar and Alicia on TikTok.
Am I the only spiritual person that struggles with meditating?
Yes.
No, you're Eddie. You're such a masshole.
He really is.
Yeah.
He's my brother, though. Like, I'm expecting that answer. No doubt
You guys,
about it.
that's what they call people from Massachusetts, okay? They call us massholes.
I know.
All
I'm
right?
from Massachusetts.
Yeah, I don't
get
know
it.
why.
Oh, yeah. Right. It's a term of endearment, for sure, for sure. For those in the comment section, we do see you down there. Bob, AT, thank you for the gift. These are the OGs. These guys are like seniors, if I'm like, you know what I mean? You got the different school systems, like junior, freshman, and now you see like the new spiritual class coming in as freshmen, and they're all like bumping into each other with their magic wands at Hogwarts.
Yeah, we don't mean that in like a retirement home kind of way either.
I do. OG, they're the OG. They're not even the OG. They're the oldest G. I love you guys. That's awesome. It's good stuff. Anybody want to come up? AT, you want to come say hi? If you do, we have all the moderators in the world. But please follow.
Eddie,
Share the live. You can share the live right now with 5 people. Help the algorithm grow. Help the algo so I'll grow, we'll grow together. It should be good.
So apparently, my presence in a box helps the algorithm. You're the best, Eddie. I love it. Hey, everyone.
Exactly.
Listen, I support anybody. I support anybody who are great people helping others, and so I'm here supporting this. Hey, everyone.
You made that like specific, but so generally vague at the same time that everyone was included, but I still felt special. I love you, AT. So I guess AT,
It takes a village.
take advantage of your time, because I know how busy you are. I guess visualization seems to be the most powerful, at least utilizable, transitional communicable way of power and manifestation and controlling our energy and abilities is visualization. Do you see that trend within your lives? Most people talking about use visualization for this technique. Visualization is so powerful.
I honestly, here we go. Aphantasia and the person next to me, Willow, I think can speak on that. I did not even know it was a thing until I found you guys here in this community. So I'd say, honestly, I found that 7, 8 months ago, I found out that some people cannot visualize that
Are you
way.
feeling like an inner dialogue lack of therefore kind of parallel? Not parallel at all,
Willow should
actually. But
speak on that. That's, right? Willow?
Yeah, aphantasia is it's I do have aphantasia, which means I do not think in images. So when someone says picture, use your mind's eye, right? And I do the same thing because I guide in meditations. I'm actually very close to having my certification as a meditation instructor. I'm working on it. It's taking me forever, but I'm working on it, right? So what we do is we just know what we're thinking about, right? So it's the inability to pull up a physical image. So if someone says to me, picture a candle flame, it's a very common one, right? For a focus point. Picture a candle flame in your mind's eye. I don't see a candle flame. I don't, right? I just know that is what I am focusing on. I know it's kind of a weird way to say it, right? And it's even stranger because there's a lot of misconceptions about this. People say, oh, well, you can't I also practice witchcraft. You guys have been doing it for over 40 years, right? Or almost 40 years now. And people say, well, you can't practice witchcraft without, visualizing. That's absolutely untrue, right? All it is,
Claircognizance that comes in with your meditation. Then you must have like the claircognizance is just
yeah,
knowing. You
you
just
just know. Yeah.
I love
You
that.
you just know. And it actually shocked me that not everyone was like that. I was like, you guys see images? Like, that must be so distracting. Like, if someone's talking to you and you're just getting all these images popping into your brain, like, bro, I would go crazy. I'd be like, oh my God, what
My
am I
ADHD
seeing?
mind could not keep up with that. Fuck yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and it's funny too because a lot of people with aphantasia, myself included, we still have visions. So when I go into trance, or I go into meditation, for me they're different. Like trance is a very specific form of meditation. But when I go into meditation or I go into trance, images do pop into my brain, but I cannot call them forth on command, right? And when people are talking to me, I'm not seeing images like on the movie
Right, it's
screen.
more or less like that panoramic view, if you will, right? Is that what you're talking about?
Well, no, I get specific, right? I get specific images, and I can see them very clearly, right? But
It
let me
just
see.
comes to you without you
Yeah, there's no
purposely setting that.
intention.
Right, exactly.
Right.
Yes.
I'm not like, I'm going to visualize this, right? So my visualization, I still call it visualization because there's, or thought, what do I call it? Thoughtalization. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know, dude. So yeah. Oh, Brother Bob, yeah, I actually wrote an entire paper on binaural beats and solfeggio frequencies, coming at it from a neuropsychological perspective and the training of the brain.
well, why
It
did I
doesn't
go
matter.
Bob? So blah 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 blah.
Well, he understands, he understands.
Oh, we
So,
understand.
and
Can I ask you
I
how you
personally
spell
have no
aphantasia?
desire to be like everybody else, right? I don't have any desire to
You are
do,
succeeding. You are succeeding. You are succeeding. How do you spell
right?
aphantasia? Is it with a PH?
Yeah, I'll put it in the chat.
Okay, you can spell it out loud. Aphantasia. Can I ask you what you've seen reflected? What has been a strength, like a good thing about it, and like something that's been lacking, like a good thing, and maybe it's increased something, and a bad thing. Like if you draw a picture, is it just a blank piece of paper?
No, I'm an
I'm just
artist too.
joking. Obviously, I'm joking. My sense of humor is great. So, can you like how has it like made things better, and how has it made things worse? I guess, right? Like you got to tell us.
Yeah, totally. So, I think it's made things better for me in that I recognize patterns, right? So, and I can describe things verbally where other people may not have the words. I know the words, right? So I'm able to describe things in great detail verbally and also able to switch how I speak so that other people can understand what I'm trying to get across. or maybe what someone else is trying to get across. So it's almost like being an interpreter.
Do you think
Right.
you've ever run into a situation where you've over-explained things because you are using literary more definite than a descriptive property, and since you're not sure if they have the description visually in their head, you over-describe things?
Sometimes, yeah, for sure. For
For
sure.
sure.
I've definitely over described something to someone before. Like, or many times, right? To where they're like, I get it. And I'm like, okay.
For sure. Right. Because you look, yeah. I appreciate you're smart. I like talking to you. Do you have anything that has been, are you making this up?
No.
It's easy to lie. You know, people that say they have no inner dialogue, it's like, how can you really prove you do or don't? You can't. So it's like, okay, I take your word for it. I believe you, of course. I can tell, right? I know you're not fucking lying, but if I just woke up tomorrow and said I was deaf and just was like how long could I get away with that? Like, would I get to the hospital? Would I get to, like, how far would I get in line? Would I, like, how far could you take it? People do
I
make
mean,
shit up.
I'm seconding her motion, and I wouldn't have been the
Yeah.
one to bring it up actually if she was lying, because I was the one that said, "Am I the only one who struggles with meditating?" Thank you very
I
much,
would,
Eddie.
I would
Well, it's
suppose that
supposed
you
to be
could
an attraction of
probably,
psychic people. You guys are all telepathic. It's hard to get jokes over on you, so I got to go far, you know?
I think I actually that's actually valid though too, because there are a lot of people who will say, you know, I can do this, I can do that, or I can't do this, I can't do that, I have this, I have that, I'm this, I'm that, right? So a lot of it I think is the fake it till you make it type of thing, right? Like, so if we're practicing something, if someone says I'm psychic, I'm a psychic medium, if someone's saying I'm a psychic medium,
Yeah.
they don't have that skill honed, but they can feel maybe like the stirrings of the beginning of it.
That's valid.
The more that they convince themselves that
Yeah.
they are that thing, then the greater that their practice will be, right? Of course, you have to practice it too. So it's all kind of like a development thing. I don't
Yeah.
see it as being good or bad,
A very
because
positive
that is
trait in
someone's
that same
specific
thing.
path.
As an affirmation out loud and verbals and that kind of stuff, writing, using lipstick on the mirror kind of thing to write things down. A lot of people use visualization. So now
They
you,
do.
in these practices that I can easily actually compare that to that visualization to an orated affirmation as two things that you feel you don't have that tangibility to visualize energy torus field in your, like, there is it that lacking, or the conjurization is your imagination of, like, have you learned a new way to visualize, like learned a new way to see, like an echolocation for a blind man?
I'm sorry to a visualization board has people that really helps. A visualization board where if you have a goal and you want to visualize it and you can't actually visualize it, you can have a little board set up where you've got your goal in pictures. That I've even used that and it works.
I would go. So, I mean, vision boards. Yeah, vision boards are great for people who do and do not have aphantasia, right? Like, it's just a focal point. So we just have to understand what the point of it is, right? And the whole point of meditation is to enter the flow of consciousness. It's not to. Sometimes it is for a specific thing, like I'm going to meditate so I can bring this specific thing into fruition. However, that's fantastic. But if you're not taking physical action, then you're still missing half the thing, right? So I can say, I have $1 million in my bank account. So if this is something that I wanted to bring into fruition, which I don't, but I could say I have $1 million in my bank account. There are specific physical steps that I can take, as well as receiving the frequency from a mantra, right? Because that is how our bodies are wired to receive. We're wired to receive vibration. So it's not only from a specific image that's brought up during a visualization practice. So we're kind of fooled into thinking that visualization has to be visual, because we can feel the same thing. And that's what I do. I feel and I know. I can feel in my body, like, strongly. You know, I get what I call truth bumps. It's like all the hair in my body will stand up. Sometimes it's in specific places, and I'm all like, bruh, like that means this means that, right? So it doesn't really matter. And as far as like the imagination goes, Y'all, my imagination is wild. You know what I mean? I just don't see it in images. It doesn't mean I can't imagine. I actually can tap into the flow of consciousness probably a little bit easier than other people because I do have these outlets. I have gardening, I have being in nature. I'm very good at meditation. It took me a really long time to get good at medication or medication. I mean, meditation. And other thing, cleaning is very cathartic for me. I don't think about stuff. When I'm cleaning, I'm just in the moment. So it's anything that brings you into the moment. There's not just one way to do meditation. We're not just, it's like what Brother Bob said. I've been reading his comments as I'm talking, but
Me too. Thank
we're
you,
not
Bob.
just sitting there. We're not just sitting there in stillness, right? The human mind doesn't really become still. But what we can do is allow the flow of consciousness to move through us. You don't even have to have your eyes closed. Like you can sit there. I've done teach open eye meditation all the time. It's where you can even put a little dot on a sticky note and like stick it on the wall or something, like anything, just some sort of focal point. That's all meditation is a focal point so that your mind is attending to something outside of yourself. You can enter into that flow of consciousness and receive whatever messages are there to receive. Do you see what I'm saying?
No, I understand completely. And what I
Sorry.
practice mostly is energy, focusing on energy, like source energy while I'm in that meditative state. Like first anchor yourself into the energy of the earth because you have to be grounded first. And then focus on that ethereal plane energy or source energy directly and focus it. And I can physically feel it even. Like I feel like a tingling come upon the crown of my head. And then I feel the energy move down into me, into my heart, down my spine, and then back up again. And it even jolts my head. Like it's intense. Like I do physically feel it. And that's like the most beneficial form of meditation, is to focus on your connection to source and feel that energy and be empowered and regenerated.
Yeah, and I mean, if people do have a hard time, like Jenny says, she has a hard time meditating. A really good method is open eye, right? So you're just staring at something, and you allow your eyeballs to unfocus. So you can kind of be like, "Nyeh," like you couldn't see me, but I was like tilting my head and my eyes are going crazy.
It's interesting that you say that because in my mediumship readings, oftentimes I'll be directed to look at certain things in the room and have to say it. Like they're making me focus on this object for a reason. And then I'm like, and you'd also understand Twizzlers. And they're like, oh my God, it's like, it's so funny that you say that because it's so true. There's other ways of being able to receive and provide information.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I kind of attribute it to I have a specific belief that where it comes from Hinduism, but it's that we're all evolutionary energy experiencing itself in different forms. And so that's why we have all of these differences among us that achieve a similar goal, right? So because we're all evolutionary energy, every single one of us is the same evolutionary energy, just is experiencing itself in different forms, right? So that's why there's going to be all these differences and similar ways of achieving, or different ways of achieving the similar goal, right? So yeah, but if you have a thought pop in your head, if you have trouble meditating, you're doing the open eye thing. Every time a thought pops into your head, a really good technique is to just say thought, and then you just let it go. And another one's going to pop in, you just go thought, right? So you don't hold on to it. There's not a, like, I need to explore this thought. You don't, right? This is just what your brain does. And then having that deep appreciation for the processes of your brain that even allow you to think in the fucking first place, man. Like, are you kidding me? Our brains are the most highly developed of anything in the world.
Gratitude.
I heard this one time, and it worked for me. And you guys could all, I'm sorry, my mouth's full of sandwich. You guys can all try this if you'd like.
Try tapping on the screen too.
Like
Please
right,
tap and share. Thanks.
like right now.
Compose yourself. This is a high budget show. Take your time. Take a drink of water. Relax.
When you're
everyone tap the screen. That's right. That's right.
Would you
You
like
ready?
me to mute?
No,
No,
I want to hear what you have to
no.
say.
Well, maybe now.
Okay.
Jeez. Let's
I
talk
swallowed
about
my
that.
food now. It's much better. Okay, so
I
when
feel it's unresolved. But go
when
ahead.
you're meditating and a thought comes in, you can ask yourself, what am I thinking right now? What exactly am I thinking right now? And then pause, and you'll find no thought will come in. So you can embrace it too, instead of always trying to push away a thought that just flings in your head. You could hold yourself to it and say, okay, I just had a thought. What exactly am I thinking right now? And nothing will come in. At least that's how it works for me. That's all.
I love how you phrased it like that. It's important to communicate what works for me. I often say what works for me and try to express information. Well, you did say information coming in and out of our circuitry, right? So these places, visualization, techniques of meditation to get to this place, we want to act as a beacon. The way a beacon works, it sends out the same frequency that the one responding to is. So to tune into ourselves through visualization, breathing, mindfulness in that place, once we can tune into there, setting our own frequency, that's the frequency that will be attracted to the beacon, and the beacon will send back to get that two-way distribution of question, knowledge, conversation with that infinite source of all knowledge and knowing. Once you're in tune with that frequency and the answers that we can figure out, I think a lot of once we get to those places and understandings, what are the questions we need to ask? Like, what do we do? It's like we can ask all these things. We can create whatever we want. And there we are, the path and the threshold of imagination, basically. So to, literally.
I feel like Eddie. I feel like I'm chasing the caboose here on a train that's running away from me. I'm trying my best. I just wanted to comment, going back to what Willow said. Absolutely, visualization is only part of the process. It's an ingredient that leads to the next steps, which is taking action. As for meditation, I don't know if I've heard you or not, and dreams as well. Willow, do you dream visually? Do you see images in meditation? I think I missed that.
Yeah, I see images in meditation, and I dream in images too. But when I wake up, I don't see the images. I see the words. If that makes any sense, I just know the words that happen, so I can describe things in great detail, right? Which is how I kind of got to the spot that I'm at, because my throat chakra is very well defined. So I'm able to describe these things and use my voice, use my words. And I've actually I've had some people tell me that I'm the mushroom queen. They're like, "You're the mushroom queen," because when we're meditating together, I literally feel like I'm on mushrooms. Like, and I'm like, okay, dude. I mean, I'll take that, you guys. I will be the
I'll take a
mushroom.
script of that. Let's go.
Yeah, you have that effect on the people. You make me feel like I'm on mushrooms when I'm around you.
Yeah, it's the attunement with the
That's the
external
beacon signal. That's the
vibration.
beacon signal. Yeah, I agree. That's where I try and come from. I don't try and come from
Yeah.
mushroom land, I guess, but like that radiance, that level of radiance and love, to like the sad non-action oriented love is like kind of muddy, but that excitable like breath of crystalline love is that beacon I try and send. So how do you just feel that way? You feel, and it ain't fake it till you make it. We all have
I
struggles.
feel your
So
fungus, Eddie. I really do. I feel it.
feel the mycelium in the room.
I feel your fungus.
I feel your fungus. That's Eddie's new catchphrase. You gotta change your
Eddie's
you gotta change your
Yeah.
Eddie's a fun guy. Eddie's a fun guy. We know that.
Fun guy. He is.
Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel for more jokes like that. Follow us on YouTube for behind the scenes content of dad jokes you can only find when you subscribe. Join our Patreon. Please tap the live and share to 5 or more friends. We have donations in our link tree account where you can find everything on the homepage of TikTok. All what we're doing is trying to create some physical real-time retreats that Shauna is putting together, myself, crew of lovely souls, and things are getting closer to reality faster than reality can keep up. So a mindful present state of people healing each other and love. Fucking, what else we want to do? This is what we want to do. We all want to do what we all want to do. So let's all do that.
I came up with a random thought the other day. You want to hear it?
Yep.
All right, cool. What if when we die, the light at the end of the tunnel is the light to another hospital room? There we are born, and the only reason you come out crying is because you remember everything from your past life, and you're crying at the fact that you died and lost everything. As you grow, you start to forget your past life and focus on the life you have now, but patches of memory stay behind, and that memory causes deja vu.
Probably.
I think I've heard that before. This is where did that come from? Because I feel like
Discord. I have no idea.
Okay. Yeah, I'm all I feel like that's stirring some remembrance. I don't know where I heard that.
Or
not from when I was born. Okay. I do need to drop though, but before I drop, I need to go to the store and I got to get my workout in because I didn't do it for 2 days when I was at the beach. And I'm sunburnt, and I need aloe on my face. It's really bad. I'm bright red. I'm like a lobster.
Anyone in the Discord, if you didn't see some of the pictures, Willow went to a retreat with some amazing dancers, and that's not the word, fucking practitioners, medicine men and women, I imagine, as well. It was quite the beautiful ritual. So check them out in the Discord. Discord's open membership to a lot of good feeling, spreading the feels. Willow,
it was not a retreat, you guys. I mean, I guess I went on a retreat. I was like, I'm going on my own retreat. I'm going to go camping at the beach. Yeah. Right. So I did that, and I happened upon.
Oh, really? That's like a destination.
No, I didn't even know that was. I didn't know that. So let me tell you the story really quickly before I drop down. So I had planned. I live in Portland, in Oregon. I'm not afraid of people knowing where I live. Right. I'm like, whatever. So I live in Portland in Oregon, and I was heading out to like around the Tillamook area, which is on the coast. And I was like, okay, well, first I'm going to go north. I'm going to go to my favorite beach, which is in Manzanita. I'm going to run the dogs, right? We're going to walk for miles. It's going to be amazing. I'm going to go visit where the river meets the ocean so I can collect some water, right? Because I collect all the waters, you guys, all the fucking waters. I got so many waters. It's unbelievable. And instead, as I was driving, I was right at the split, where I would either go straight to go to Manzanita or I would go left to go to Tillamook. And I was like, no, I'm going left. I'm going right there, right? Because that's where I was camping. I'm like, no, I'm just going to go right there. I'm just going to bum around and do whatever. So I get there. It's too early to check in and set up my campsite, right? Because people were still there, whatever. And so they're like, well, here's a complimentary day pass. You can just go to the day use area and hang out. And I was like, okay, perfect. So I'm like, I don't care where I am on the beach if I can hang out, right? If I can just sit there and chill with the ocean, I'm cool. I don't even care where it is. So I'm like, cool. So I go down there and I pull in and I was like, what is that? And I look over and there's a sign that says Aztec Ocean Blessing Ceremony. And I was like, what the fuck? Right? So I hook my dogs up to their leashes and I'm running over there and I saw the entire fucking thing. Like the entire thing. I was like, oh my God. So I got to witness, and they're in full regalia. Something I've never seen before. There was the drums, you guys, the drums. Oh my God. Like these drums were made out of these hollowed logs, but the knots and stuff were still there. Like they weren't, it was just like this log with the skin. I was like, holy crap. So I stayed and listened for a little bit. And then I was like, well, I'm going to go to the ocean. I'm like, this is an ocean blessing. I'm going to go to the ocean. Right. So I walked down the little hill and I'm at the ocean and I'm hanging out and I'm sitting underneath this big tree that had been washed up. It was all driftwoody, but gigantic. I'll post pictures of it in the Discord. It's a beautiful tree. Sitting underneath there, and I'm hanging out, and I'm with my dogs, and I'm just chilling. And then I look over, and here comes this entire group that were doing the blessing ceremony, walking down the beach, and they walked right past me, and they stopped right where the ocean met the cliffs. And I was like, holy crap. And they continued their ceremony. So I had the entire experience of witnessing this. Then the next day, I was in the bathroom, right? And I was like, I'm going to take a shower because I was all sweaty and stuff. So like get in there and I go take a shower and I come out and this woman's like, hey, I don't know whose bag this is, but I just dumped soap in it. And it was my bag, naturally. right? Had my phone in it. I was like, oh no. And I'm like, it's cool, dude. Don't even worry about it, whatever. And then I looked at her and I guess I must have recognized her from the day before because I was like, hey, were you part of the ceremony? And she said, yes. And I said, thank you so much for sharing your culture with us. That was absolutely beautiful. Like, I just wanted to show you some appreciation. And so we started a conversation about the ceremony and about the receptivity of, especially of white people around this. It turns out she had had a really bad experience. So I was like, that's bullshit. You know what I mean? I'm all like, that was stupid. People shouldn't be doing that to you. Like, of course, anything that isn't white in nature, a lot of white people have a problem with it for whatever reason. I'm like, I don't understand it, but it's whatever. And I was like, I just wanted to say thank you. Like, people are stupid. These issues need to be talked about. And then we said, have a great week. Goodbye. Nice to meet you. I went back to my site. She went back to hers. A little bit later, I was leaving to go to this really cool thrift store that I saw called Lex's Cool Stuff. Right. And it was like this little tiny, and I was like, I gotta go in that store. There was like crap all over the outside. It was like gardens and plant. I was like, I gotta go in there. And so I'm leaving the campsite, I'm driving, and she waves me down. I like drive past her and I wave to her. She waves me down and I stop and she comes over and she's like, hey, we're having that conversation earlier today, and there was some people in the like in the men's room, maybe they're doing cleaning or something. They must have overheard our conversation. And she's like, well, I just don't want to. And I was like, look, girl, like, if they heard you talking, then they heard me talking too. So whatever. I was like, this stuff needs to be talked about. Don't ever be afraid to use your voice. Like, I know, you know what I mean? But there's other people that will support you, like, around you. So just be aware of it. And I was like, thank you again for sharing your culture. And then she was like, yeah, totally. And then we just parted ways. But that's the story of how I ended up at that really cool thing. I didn't even know it was happening like that. But stuff like that happens all the time. If you just pay attention, you're like, holy crap. And it comes on the back of a conversation I was having about some symbols that popped up during meditation, right? Because again, I do see things if I'm not intending to see them. I'm like, oh, okay, right? So some symbols popped up. I didn't know what the heck they were. So I got a hold of my Guru Ma, and I got a hold of a couple other people who are much more knowledgeable than I am. And I asked them what they were. I was like, what are these things? They told me what they were or what they thought they were. And I was like, okay, a few paths were laid before me. So I'm at like a fork in the road. The fork has like 10 tines though. So I'm like, okay, I got to figure out like which way it is that I'm going to go on this journey. But these tools that I've been given, and then ending up at that thing, and then the conversation, and I had a conversation with the owner of the thrift store about the law of attraction. Y'all, I cannot make this shit up. You know what I mean? I'm all like, what is going on? Like, what is going on right now?
I know.
Yeah, it was really cool. So it was a beautiful few days, but okay. So point being, I skipped my workouts for 2 days. I need to go work out and I have to go to the store, and it's still early. It's like only like 8:30. I've been up for like 2 hours. I've had a lot of coffee this morning.
Have a great day, Willow.
Thank you. Oh, and I have some other stuff I'm going to talk about in the Discord later.
This reminds me of your little retreat. It's Ocean Love Bliss. That's what it's called. I don't know why. But...
Oh, that is
Alex Gray.
Gray.
Yeah.
Yeah, his wife does amazing work too. Beautiful.
Yeah, they both do.
Yeah, those are my people, dude.
Yeah, those are my neighbors for quite some time. I've been over there.
Oh,
I went to Cosmo a lot.
Oh my God. Okay,
Well,
Eddie,
wonderful.
you can go ahead and drop me. Bye, you guys.
Absolutely.
Blessed be.
Thanks so much, honey. I'll talk to you later. And
bye, Willow.
Bye.
Yes. Bye.
I experienced what she was describing before, in which I thought I was like losing it. So it was nighttime. I was ready to, like, I often like to unwind, meditate right before I go to sleep. And the room, like, I make sure my room is pitch black. Like, I have room darkening shades and blinds. And yeah, well, my eyes were closed. And while I was in that meditative state, focusing on source energy and my connection to our source, I like saw like light in the form of like sacred geometry. Like, I was like thinking, oh my gosh, I feel like I'm schizophrenic at the moment. Like, I saw like patterns, like sort of like a kaleidoscope. And And then I saw like clearer patterns, like similar to like the flower of life pattern. It's so odd, but I only had that experience once, but it was amazing, and it seemed like I was tripping or
When you
something.
look at that
Like
flower
I didn't
life
do.
pattern, right? What's the flower life pattern is inside a hexagon, which is 6 sides. And young Rose's picture right there that just disappeared had 6 dots, and those would be the vertices. You make that, and there you goes your honeycomb, and there's your flower life with your circles among circles. When you make the circle with the compass, and you make your circles, and Metatron's cube, and yada yada. So you're seeing is what's commonly referred to as fucking
It's the
higher
vibrations.
dimensional. It's like the general symbol for the
So I was
12-sided
seeing energy.
dodecahedron. You're seeing like how the world's built upon these building blocks, I guess.
Oh,
It's like
awesome.
a bunch of, you know how a soccer ball looks, but the soccer ball's got more edges, like, and how the ball is made out of a ball. But picture that just with like an icosahedron, and those hexagonal sides, when they touch each other, like if my soul touched your soul, that would be the integration. We all fit together. It's like a 3-dimensional honeycomb of energy Lego blocks. But anyway, I'd like to take a second to mention some of our sponsors. When I've been doing the Are You Smarter Than a Fifth Dimension Friday night last week, our sponsor was White Bear Reiki, and that is our sponsor, Kim. She is a Reiki master and trauma coach. She does groups on Discord, Reiki sessions, and she does her own self-supplied of self-worth journals that are fully prompted. This Friday coming up for this week's episode of Are You Smarter Than a Fifth Dimension, or 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, our sponsor is Earth Vibes. Earth Vibes is where you can find your largest selection of crystals in the United States, hand-mined by our friend Chris of Chris's Crystals. Earth Vibes. Find them on Facebook and social media, especially on TikTok. And these are shipped to you. And the assortment for this Friday's sponsorship for the victor, this superior knowledgeable being, is going to win a package from Earth Vibes. So let's keep that in mind as we continue to tap, like, share, help the algorithm grow. How does this work? Together. You know, there is an auto clicker app, which you can just get for free in the Play Store. It's called Auto Clicker. You put a little thing right next to this and you hit click and it goes. And then you hit unclick and you just gave like 400 likes and you're done. You're done. You're done. Share, you hold in the button. Longer, you don't go to that little triangle on the bottom. You hold it, and whoever those ones are, do that, and it gets momentum. You know how this works?
You could be a soundboard.
I was told I had a face for radio. AT likes that joke.
Eddie, you want to see something cool?
Yep, let's fucking go, baby. Not a safe space. Let's go.
Look at the trust. He big boxes him without even seeing what he's got. That's trust.
If you want to see it, we have to big box it, AT. I don't know. There we go, though. Now we're talking. Let's get into it.
You talk about the hexagon, right? It's more than just a shape, bro. If you get closer, you can see that it's a 720 degree. What's 7 plus 2 is 9. So you see the 6 and the 6, 3, and 9 in every single part of the hexagon. It's all through nature. It's all through symbols. So when you say that you can't use your imagination, you always are going to get that generated frequency of those numbers in every pattern that we see in life.
Sure.
Right?
Gabe, I love you, bro. So if we look at this, and you're looking at this 6-sided shape right now, this hexagram. Now, if everyone can't see this yet, you'll never be able to unsee this. Now, let's watch it pull back and turn it into a cube, where the top is the top of the cube and the walls of the cube. And now it's a 3-dimensional cube. See, instead it went from a 2-dimensional shape. Now it turns into a 3-dimensional cube. Everyone nod their head. Yes, we see what you're saying, Edward. And now you can move in different perspectives when you turn this symbol into 2 tetrahedrons, 2 4-sided pyramids that still make, as Brother Bob in his Metatron's cube symbol in Daystar David. Now we can see a 4th dimensional by changing it, and then we can see a 5th dimensional. That's why the Metatron's cube is the symbol, because it goes all the way up to the 12 platonic solids. All of the platonic solids are represented in this shape in different perspectives. And then what happens when it gets to the 12th one goes back around? What happens? It goes back to the 1st dimension, it goes back to a triangle. The triangle with the circle around it, with the square around it, to the 4-sided pyramid, to this cube. and then it goes to six-sided, it goes to hepahedron, and then it goes to a icosahedron, to dodecahedron. But once it goes to that cycle of 12 dimensions, like a chromatic scale, it goes back to the octave, which is 1, which is back to the triangle, then back to the circle. So it goes and it goes, but there is a pattern that finishes itself in most of life. In that pattern, surrounded by a bigger pattern, within a bigger pattern. So it seems like shit's taking forever sometime in life, though, huh? But it's all basically patterns. If we recognize smaller patterns, we can address those two larger patterns on a fractal scale, right? We know this. We can see things grand and break them down to the smallest microchip and create that in a small reality. And we know we can do this. Gabe, what are we talking about?
Yeah, so the macrocosm and microcosm is the same, and you do see the same patterns within both.
Within nature and within your mindset. So as soon
Yeah,
as
or within
you
the
can see, as soon
yeah,
as you can recognize it in nature, right? So
mhm.
you recognize these patterns. You see the sunflower, you see the beehives, you see all these different flower patterns. When your eyes perceive it, your eyes are the portals to your soul, right? So when you accept it, when you acknowledge it and be like, oh yeah, that's cool, or start trying to describe it, you're describing those patterns into your portals, into your mindset. And now those numbers are starting to undetach within you, right? So it's like it turns into that silent sound frequency. And this is where people get confused, because it's like they don't think that they can see sound, but sound is everywhere through nature. If you just sit and meditate or sit and ponder into that frequency, you'll start receiving that frequency silently. That's why they say, be still and know that I am. Everything else is a part of the great I am as well. As long as you can sit there and accept it and experience it, acknowledge it, release it, and move on, you'll start getting more and more of these frequencies, because it's like building blocks. You're starting to build all these symbols and signs together, and once you start getting, it's like climbing a pinnacle, and you'll start going higher and higher, and there's no top. You're just going to keep going and going and going. And that's the beauty of it, because now you're starting to see the patterns, the birds chirping, the frogs croaking, the crickets and all that. And then you can start turning those patterns. That's what I'm doing right now with the Seveggio frequencies, is I'm matching insects, birds, well sounds, all that stuff. I'm matching them to the certain frequencies of the Seveggio frequencies. And it's blowing my mind how close that I am of mimicking those sounds with man-made frequency sounds that we've created by man. And it's very, very similar. There's a lot of people that were highly in tuned and throughout history that we overlook. And that's what it is that they were receiving downloads, but they weren't spiritual people. They weren't, you know what I mean? They were musicians, they were artists, and you don't have to be spiritual. It's already in you. We already all possess the inner light gift. And it's how you present it as a co-creator into this reality, into this realm. So how you share it, those are the things. As soon as you look at it, or as soon as you can hear the music, and as soon as you're sharing like these gifts that we have, the more people can take that nutrients, that nectar from that flower of life, take that nectar and bring it into your reality. That's how you share the flower of life.
Mhm.
With that, I land my plane.
And have you read, I'm sure you read about Nikola Tesla, like he went into depth about exactly what you were describing. And I didn't quite understand the 369 concept, but
I just
after
wanted to
everything
say
that was
goodbye.
specified by you guys, it's sort of starting to
Goodbye,
click.
everybody. I have to
Thank you so
go.
much for
I'm at
spending
work.
time with us. Yeah, you should have a nice day.
Good to meet you. I want to make sure I'm following you. Let's
Everyone
see.
follow the timeline if you had time. Anybody want to come up on this panel that we're talking about? Enunciation. So we do know that.
Hey, yo.
Oh, we do that.
Yeah, yo. I've been wanting to talk, man, but like, there's so much. I got answers, but everything is vibration. Those patterns, vibration, the frequencies, vibration, us, vibration. How do you tap in through that vibration, to that frequency? Everything is vibration. If you cannot use your mind use external vibrations to stimulate your mind and see those vibrations. If you cannot imagine things, grab a water bottle, look at the water bottle, crush it with your eyes open. Now close your eyes and crush that water bottle. Your mind will see a water bottle. If it can't, keep doing it. It takes patience. But everything is vibration. You know, everything has a vibration. And being mindful of those vibrations, you're able to tap into those things.
We know the shape of sound can be called cymatics, right? Because we can look at sound frequency going through water and creating a cymatic two-dimensional, and now bubble cymatics shows three-dimensional shapes. And the DNA frequency they call 528, right? It's a DNA healing solfeggio frequency. And if you look at the shape, the three-dimensional shape of the cymatic form of the sound wave of 528 hertz this isn't really a great picture, but if you had a bunch of these and made like a three-dimensional thing, I had it taped together, but you get what I'm trying to say. That's the shape that it takes on, is that shape of that three-dimensional honeycomb vortex matrix. I think those are like the building blocks, so to say, around us so much.
Yeah, and also like, you know how each color has a different frequency, a different vibration? Same thing with the... Gabe knows more about this, and I'm pretty sure you do it.
But
You too, Eddie.
crystals in the comments that work like a three-dimensional human. Each crystal has a resonance, which oftentimes I would imagine the color corresponds to it. Does a smell, does a certain flower have a vibration? Do just certain flowers have vibrations? What if we could walk through a path of different types of flowers that would be like a song of energy that float around us with different intervals, like intervals in music, but intervals of energy?
Yeah, it's like yesterday Gabe was talking about this. You know how our chakras are different colors?
Yeah.
Like, what if we're able to like activate everything? You should talk about this, Gabe, what you talked about yesterday, about using those frequencies to...
Hi, good to meet you.
You too.
Bye, Jenny from the talk.
Bye, Jenny.
Do you guys want to hear a healing frequency?
Oh, that's a good one. That's beautiful.
This is my favorite one.
Do you know the hertz of that?
No.
No. Okay.
Well, you could get a tuner app and like look at the frequency of it. And
Eddie, I felt that in my chest and shoulders. Is that anybody else?
I feel it in my like pineal gland.
I feel it in my shoulders.
Yeah, like shoulders area, chest.
You ever seen those headphones that don't go in your ear? They're bone conductive headphones. You know what I'm talking about? So they have headphones that just kind of go here and here, and you can still hear the music, but it's like conductive because it goes through like your bones, like the broken bones in your ear canal and eardrum and such. If we had like subtle frequencies running through us, like go boop, 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 boop. It's Tuesday. Here's the date. Here's the horoscope. Here's the moon cycle. Here's all this stuff. What does my AI recommend for my frequency bath of the day? And it's playing within my chamber, like chamber music. My brain, my skull is a chamber where the resonance resonates. And there was like a frequency with chords, you know, like the 1, the 3rd, and the 5th of the frequency for the Monday, the 7 days in the week, 7 notes, 12 months, 12 chromatic. It's like it all seems like there could be a nice pattern in a Cliff Notes version. Remember Cliff Notes when you didn't want to read a book in school?
Yeah, I utilize those.
This is like an easier pattern, or like for dummies, like to integrate for like us to be like, oh, I'm getting tired. I'm going to put on this 8 hours of magical frequencies with 329 and this and that, and it's going, wah, being all dramatic in 8 hours of this. It's like cool, feels good, but it's probably more simple than that. It's probably as much as like taking the vitamin, set it, forget it kind of stuff. So if we have these integrated in us, just playing, I don't know. James, what's up, homie? How you doing?
Not much.
Get the alpha. Just great meditation last night, man. I was
just joining in, man. What's going on, everybody?
The meditation last night was awesome, man. I was far, far away.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I did shut my phone down after you were done, and I sat in that place. So that was awesome, man.
Yeah, that was almost the best part of it because well, after the meditation we did last night, I said, can you guys, when I end the live, sit for 5 minutes and see if we can still tune in.
Did you get feedback on that in that time?
Yeah.
I was trying to sit there and play guitar with you. I was like, hey, it's me. I'm playing guitar. were here and you were playing guitar, me and you were both playing. That's the best I could do to try and communicate. I'm like, just so you know it was me if it came through anything.
I
So
definitely
you guys are in charge
felt.
now. I'm first moderators. I got to take 5 and go walk the dog for a second. I'll be back in a minute.
Bye, everyone.
Right. So what you guys been talking about? Hi Alien T, hi Gabe, hi AE.
What's up, brother James?
What's up, Gabe? How y'all doing today? What y'all talking about? What's going on?
We were
Talking
just
about
talking about
frequencies.
frequencies.
Yeah.
And Eve, is that your name, Eve?
Eve is my dog. I'm Alicia.
Oh, Alicia. Okay. Hi, Alicia.
Good to meet you. What's your real name?
My real name is AT. I don't. I'm just an anonymous kind of guy, but everybody knows me. Eddie, they can all vouch for me here. I'm just a nice guy, I think.
I'm not vouching for you.
No, we were talking frequency, and then she hit. Can you hit those?
You want to hear it again?
Yeah, because I think my shoulders need.
These are the most healing frequencies. Wait, let me put the phone down so I can do it better. Oh, look, I have one of those light fixtures that looks like a big boob. Look. Look, guys. But I had to put the phone down to do this.
I'm gonna say a hat from Mongolia, but okay, that'll work.
Yeah, that's a healing. That is definitely a healing frequency.
That's where you got it. And then look, check out the symbols on it. I don't know if those are Sumerian. No, they're not Sumerian. I can't identify them. And it doesn't. There's also symbols on this side too.
Yeah, how many symbols are there?
3 on this side. On the other side, let's see. There's 7 on this side, on each of them. Aren't they interesting looking symbols? Like, have you seen these before?
I haven't. Anybody else? A big box would help right now.
And let's see, I have the case. Oh, shoot. I cut the tag off of the case, so I don't know. I don't remember where they were from. I think they were from Tibet, actually. So it must be the Tibetan symbol. More of a sound bath. Yeah, it's so divine. Like, it even relieves headaches. If ever I have a headache, luckily I don't get them too often, but and I like feel the vibrations like right inside my head from it. I love these. They're definitely very healing. They're better than the tuning forks. And they look cool too.
Where did you find those?
At this spiritual shop in my area.
Yeah, that's I feel that. So I'm feeling it in the heart chakra, the throat, across the shoulders, and maybe it just hits, it targets areas that you need, individually, that you need healing for, perhaps.
Yeah, because I know my heart chakra is overactive. And I've been trying to heal my pineal gland. And I think that's why I feel it targeting that most of all, because since I feel the need that it needs to be healed, I think it actually does. And yeah, this totally helps. Don't they look like little UFOs? I like your crop circle there. Yes, you are.
Yeah, and the sound. They say that the sound makes crop circles. Like something about sound.
Yeah, like they say, like a orb, an energy orb goes over the field, and it
Yeah.
does seem to be created with and like the energy frequencies.
Yep, and that's why the I think we attract orbs around us, and I think when we vibrate to these higher frequencies, like I think they may be like assisting us to feel more enlightened, like so to speak.
Yes, and one, did anyone have experiences with actually seeing orbs before? Like, for instance, one time I woke up, it was freaky. I was like I don't know if maybe I was just like having sleep paralysis. But I woke up and saw a red orb like hovering over me. And I tried to grab at it. And then I woke up holding the painting that's hanging above my bed, this painting. And this painting is like sort of like I'm laying in bed right now, and it's not even within reach. And I woke up like holding that instead of the orb. Isn't that weird?
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Well, all the people here know me, but I made contact with orbs, real physical contact with orbs, and then I started recording us together for many years, and they've, at that time they said to me that they wanted the world to know that they were here, and I said, well, do you want me to show you to the world? And they said, sure, let's go. So I started taking pictures and videos with them for over 10 years. And throughout my years, the one orb that stands out the most is one that appeared with a word in it. And all these guys know me here, and I don't want to sound repetitive, but this is the word. It's love inside the orb.
And no, it's amazing. Like I think I saw my brother's spirit orb before. My brother unfortunately passed, but I took pictures around the Thanksgiving table before. And in the picture that I took of my mom, there was a big white orb right next to her head. And there was no light source that could have created that. So I sort of think it was like my brother visiting the orb of his soul or something.
Yeah. Well, it's funny that we're talking about frequency and sound, because that's been coming up big lately, especially with a lot of Gabe's work and what he's doing, and it's been unlocking kind of like doors to my imagination too on like with this all this frequency. And it's funny that they say that orbs are creating the crop circles, and it says that they're using sound frequency, and and that frequency of sound, I think because we're multidimensional beings, we're not only light, but we're sound, and not only physical sound, but like an electromagnetic sound. So I believe like your energy centers, like when they start vibrating to a certain frequency, it attracts certain higher frequencies, and that's it.
Mm-hmm. Also, like there are times like I even questioned if there was something wrong with my vision, because like, do you ever sometimes periodically see like a flash of an orb in your peripheral vision?
Yeah, I do. I see them as a spark of light in my peripheral vision.
Yes.
Just a spark, and then it's
I asked my eye doctor, is there something wrong with my eyes? But
oh, really?
yeah, but because it happens sometimes, but maybe it is something spiritual, like seeing beyond the veil or something. I don't know.
I have a question about James is the master of orbs. So, we got a pack of wolves, a gaggle of geese. What would you call a bunch of orbs? Maybe Eddie knows. Would it be like a gaggle of orbs? I don't want to call it an army of orbs, but
I guess we would try and look up like a group of spheres or a collection of spheres, and we would do some etymology on Dragon Ball. They're called Dragon Ballisms.
Yeah, I think in our essence, we are orbs that are inhabiting this physical spacesuit.
Absolutely.
And the pure essence, the power of, pure energy, contained in, what's the size of it? About a golf ball size, maybe? Is that about right, James?
I've heard I don't know if I've ever heard about that being a golf ball size, and yeah, I don't know. I never heard of that.
He's asking you about the size of the orbs you see. I think you're thinking that AT's thinking like a torus
Okay.
field, like around your entire body, James.
Yeah,
That's what you're thinking. But
they
AT,
definitely always change. They can go from a spark of light to in the picture, which would look like a 2-foot ball of light.
James, you
I've seen
want
them as big as about 3 to 4 feet in
to share
height.
a couple pictures? Would you share a couple pictures with us, James? You have time to do that? Because
Definitely.
Alicia, where do you get a load of this? Where do we get a load of this? And I'd like to take a moment to say, everyone, please keep tapping that and like this. If we can get to usually 50,000 likes in a day, is a great goal to have. What are we doing? We're setting goals that we can achieve. I'm setting goals. This channel's setting goals. Don't we want to see each other succeed? I want to see you succeed. You want to see me succeed. So help with this goal. Share to 5 friends, at least 5 friends. Share to a couple people. Hold the button down. Tap. Download AutoClicker in the Play Store for free and get a bunch of likes really fast. Subscribe to the YouTube channel and go to the link tree in our biography on TikTok for other social media accounts. And White Bear Reiki was a sponsor last week for a trivia show. Kim, Reiki Master, and Trauma Coach. White Bear Reiki, this week's sponsor for Are You Smarter? The Fifth Dimensioner, is Earth Vibes. Find Earth Vibes on TikTok and Facebook to get all of your crystals, mostly mined by Chris Crystals himself and his family in the grand state of Arkansas, the quartz capital of the realm, as far as I know. He's giving away a package of crystals tonight for tonight, that night, Friday's Victor.
I just saw an orb in your video. I just saw an orb fly by. There's a bunch of them. Sorry to interrupt, but it was just amazing to see. Do you see them?
Sponsorships out, and we do appreciate you guys. Really, real talk. Appreciate everyone working together to try and get this, ball rolling for everybody. Get this get this orb rolling, baby.
There's so many flying around. Oh my gosh.
James, what is the name of the thing? Not adamantium. It sounds like Wolverine's bones, but it's adamantium energy.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought that was your live video for a moment, and I was seeing all these, and that's what I've seen too, and I've captured those in photos of and I used to think, oh, maybe it's dust particle that the flash is catching in the picture, but no, because I took a picture in the woods before, in which there were hundreds of them in the picture.
Right.
What's the energy, James, called? It begins with an A.
So what people are calling orbs, I'm starting to believe that there's something that's called adamantine particles. And the reason why adamantine particles make sense is because in my research, all my pictures that I take, a large 90% of them, the orbs are in my body or around my body. And so when I made this video just playing around, I noticed that the orbs or the adamantine particles were coming from within me at certain areas right here, and then from my head right here.
I have a friend who I invited to this live, and he came in at one point, but he couldn't stay because he's on a trip with his family. And he sees orbs, and he says that there were times in which the orbs entered him and he got like a healing sensation.
Right. Yeah, I've heard of stories like that too. I've heard of stories like that too. And what this says about these adamantine particles, and it says that they are some element that exists from all dimensions, and that these elements can be willed and used in a sacred manner from a sacred heart. From a state of from a heart space that is sacred, and they describe that heart space as being in a state where you are the prayer, where you don't have to pray or anything like that. You become the essence of the blessing, and so your heart is in an open space. So it says you can use them for healing. You could use them for awareness. You can ask them to help you love deeper. And anything that has to do with awareness. And so I also think that they could be also used as like armor. And you ever notice how they always talk about the consciousness of E.T. Craft, how that the consciousness is like the material is conscious. Whatever material they use is conscious. So it would make sense that we have some kind of ability with our consciousness to not also project these adamantine particles, but to harness them into vehicles maybe that
Yeah,
will
yeah,
help us.
yeah, man. Tommy knockers last night and the night before. Tommy knockers knocking at your door. When Jimmy Smits dug up that spaceship in the town up in Maine on Tommy Knocker's Stephen King movie last night and the night before, the ship itself was conscious. And they were lying their mind to control. All the beings aboard were long since gone away, but the ship itself remained. Kind of like the house in The Shining. The Shining had the consciousness. So it's like, man, James, it's like you just opened all the windows in my house and I was like, the breeze is flowing away in my brain so much right now.
Hell yeah, we're the trees now, y'all. Everybody
Seriously,
take a tree form.
Just got above the cloud line.
May I interject? Because I just had an epiphany.
Yeah,
because I'm into doing energy work. And I was thinking we could make our own orbs, energy orbs, and send them to those who need it. Like, you know how, did you ever create like an energy ball in your hands?
They're called cheat balls, I think.
And then speak into them, like say love and healing, and then put the intention out, release it, and put the intention out for it to go to someone who needs it. I've actually practiced that before.
Himself, I've heard him speak, not speaking for him, that he has projected the idea upon himself of working through transferring these energies through the fucking phone and through our just connections and the psychic meditation. After the fact, when he closed the meditation last night, he's like, okay, after the meditation, let's do this is important. James said, go off, close TikTok, get off your phone, and let's all try and meet together in the next 5 minutes. So you're right on fucking point with this stuff, man. This is how we're going to have to do this stuff. This is how we're doing this stuff. How do I give you a hug just in my mind, guys? I love you. I love you people.
Wow, you have some awesome images.
So when I started discovering them, this is a whole story, but I'll try to be quick. When I discovered them and found out they were sentient, I started taking pictures, and what I started doing was cropping the orb circles. I didn't realize it until I looked at the phone and realized that I was zooming in on them. And I thought to myself, I wonder if there's a connection between cropped circles and then cropping orb circles.
So macro, micro, you can look at those objects from the outside. If there was a way to get really, really close inside those, I bet there'd be fractal geometry or something akin to a three-dimensional shape represented. Right.
Oh.
Yeah. And like, what do you think about Oscar's picture, Dragon Ball, the energy, Hadoken, and pushing and moving chi energy? Chi, it was said in comments by A.T. Tai Chi are relevant. People like that transmutate, like Nella, like, right, just literally wave your hands around. That's like, that stuff is stuff. So
even clapping your hands creates a lot of energy. Like I know Reiki too, and
I heard like going.
And
like,
that's the good technique is to clap your hands first to generate energy too.
Makes sense. You take physical pressure on a pineal gland, creates a like effect, like two pieces of quartz striking together, make the blue little spark. And that's how stuff happens, is when shit get bumping into each other. That's where stuff happens, you know what I'm saying? It's true.
That's what the shit is happening.
This is a safe space for
I wonder what the different colors of the orbs mean.
Yeah, so
because like I said one time, I usually just saw white ones, and I haven't seen too many. But I told you about the one I saw when I was half asleep. And I woke up, I saw this red orb over me.
So red, we know root chakra is red. And now what's the frequency of with that red? How far do we take the color? Like, I don't know. That's as much as I got.
Yeah, sometimes from my research, the only thing I kind of deciphered is that when I see a pink orb, I associate it with ancestors or like my grandmother or like and so I can feel that energy because when I take pictures when I have family gatherings, a pink orb is always there, and so I noticed it, so I kept doing it and kept noticing that there would be a pink orb at family gatherings. But,
when I mentioned how I have a photo of the orb of my brother's soul next to my mom's head that I took around the Thanksgiving table. That one was a white one though.
Yeah,
But like I said, there was
it could
no
be,
lighting there that should have, like no light source that would have triggered that orb. So yeah, I know it was definitely his soul.
Yeah, it also could be the light source, maybe because of the cameras we use. Like, see, this one is in the house, and it was pink at the time.
But I'm talking about not on, I actually saw it when I was waking up. It wasn't like in a photograph. And there were times, like I said, like I have a picture I took in the woods. Unfortunately, it's not on my phone. It was one I took like many years ago. And there were so many of them in the shot in the woods. And that's when I started to believe that the orbs that I captured in photos weren't just dust particles capturing light. Because like there wouldn't be dust like that in the woods unless it was gas. But no, I think it is energy. Like it is like some kind of spiritual phenomenon.
Right, right, and yeah, definitely, right. And the cameras, camera technology, I believe, started picking them up in the '90s when they switched the camera lens to something called the CMOS lens. And I just asked Google one day. I didn't do any extensive research, but I said what I just randomly, because I was thinking about what could have changed for cameras, and I said what changed for digital cameras in the 1990s. And something came up, said that they all got an upgrade to their lenses called the CMOS lens, which does something by reflecting all the light and channeling it a certain way. And so I think that's why they're so predominant now, is because of that one moment in history where the lenses got upgraded. And before then, I don't think you could see orbs in pictures, although they probably were still there anyway. But I could be mistaken too, though. So. But this is the one with the word love. I'm gonna put my phone down for a second.
Wow, I see it.
So I'm gonna put my phone down and give everyone else some time. If I like to hear.
Maybe someone practiced what I mentioned, like creating an energy ball and spoke love into it and sent it out there.
Happy Valentine's. And then when you turn it upside down and read it backwards, look at everything as above, so below. I think it says you backwards. So it's Y.
Yes, I see that.
It could say you, or it could say your, or it could say love your
love you.
No. Yeah.
It's just love you. Love you.
So love.
Where is your love?
You.
Aww, that's the best orb image I ever saw.
I have a question for everyone. Is that okay, Eddie? Can I ask? So earlier, Jenny from the talk mentioned, could the light at the end of the tunnel be you going to another hospital? I think there's an in-between. I know there's an in-between where, once we leave this incarnation here, this physical body, before our next incarnation, there's a place. There's a dimension where we as orbs, stay. I had that pre-incarnation memory experience through meditation once, where I was an orb and I literally went up to my dad's eye while he was standing at the altar with my mom getting married. I've experienced that, and it was almost like I imprinted something in him, if that makes sense, to have this journey. So we do, and it was 2 years, 2 Earth years had passed since I was born after their wedding. So there is a place where I think we kind of hang out, and I wonder if it's here on Earth or other dimensions. I think it's different for everyone. So I don't think we necessarily jump from one physical incarnation to another, and we are, orbs. And the orbs are very dense, though. It's a lot denser than what I saw in the picture there, James, because of the concentration of actual, souls or beings in the form of an orb is the pure energy so intense. But other orbs can be created, like what Alicia was saying. People can create orbs and send them out with intention. And I think James is attracting all those intentions. He's the orb collector. That's what I call James.
That's amazing.
You can call me.
Also, my theory is our souls will like have all different types of journeys. Like we won't just be earthbound in our reincarnations. I do believe like this. I don't like the terminology people are using, but the starseed concept, in which all of us though are starseeds. Our souls will experience every dimension, like many different civilizations, like they reincarnate on different planets with other civilizations. Like I hope to God this is my last reincarnation in this realm. But yeah, I think we'll get to explore everywhere. But also, I think to obtain those higher dimensions, our soul does have to be determined to ascend. And, also they take the righteous path to do so. Like I believe those who choose the negative pathway will not ascend as high and won't get to experience the higher astral realms, and also they won't have the opportunity to reincarnate in higher civilizations, like more advanced civilizations.
Yeah, and if you think about it, like that's a good topic of discussion about like what do you think you have to do or for this to be your last incarnation? And I think we all know what that means when it comes to death, when it comes to fear, So and you have to, I think a good part of the learning about ascension is the understanding that there has to be some kind of unaliving in order for you to move beyond the cycle of reincarnation. So you literally have to be, in Christian respects, born again, but in a way that will make you beyond the wheel, with no longer succumb to the death or life, and move into that realm, which Emerald Tablets always talks about, is that beyond the greater than all. And he says in Emerald Tablets that life is a lie and so is death. That I promise you, children of light, there is life beyond life that's available for us.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, my topic tonight is your spiritual home. And that alone opens the door for a lot of discussion. Like where are we from? Where are we between physical incarnations? How often have we come here to this earth? But where are we truly from?
Also, don't limit your consciousness while you're in this reincarnation. Like our consciousness isn't just earthbound in our waking state in this realm either. We can tap into those higher dimensions.
Yeah, guys, I want you to think about something and tell me what you guys think if you guys want to go around the panel. What do you think this means? In the Emerald Tablets, we were listening to it last night, and he was talking about, I guess, source or something. But he said that like at the beginning there was a source, there was the all, let's say, and then all of a sudden there was a thought, and within that thought, time started manifesting. And what does that feel for you? Because that feels to me kind of like a multi-dimensional, like the way I've always heard about it is that like the whole universe or reality was created by multiple big bangs, one from the 8th dimension, and then one to the 7th dimension, and one to the 6th dimension, and one to the 5th dimension, and all the way down. And the way I think about that time, the way we perceive time, is like the length of a projection, like the length of a thought. So I was just saying, what does that unlock for anyone, if anyone has anything to comment about that?
But that just makes me think that reality is a projection of consciousness. So we're, in a way, like our creator's consciousness created everything, and then we are also meant to expand our consciousness and grow and Like I see it as something I always say is we're all sparks of the same divine flame, and it's all like energy and consciousness. Everything is.
Right, right. That makes me feel like when people say "do thy will," that the Creator, we created us and so that we can be an extension of it to do its will on
Mm-hmm.
earth, not necessarily to do something someone's telling you, but also to share in the creation.
I worship the creator because I'm not worshiping someone else because I am the creator. So I am worshiping the creator and I am the creator. So get off my back. I'm not worshiping something else. I'm worshiping the creator and I am the creator. Right, James?
Yeah, spot
Uh,
on.
you feel me? I feel you, man. That's a nice way to look at things. If anyone tells you, like, I was like that arrogant agnostic guy through college and a lot of my life. I'd know more about theology and philosophy than you, but I didn't have any faith. Faith is for people that are misunderstood in their own mind. And I wasn't having esoteric crisis. It wasn't that big a deal. I knew there was more going on. But I have fantasies about like worshiping some other deity other than oneself. I'm like, I am me, you know? So what the heck's going on? What's the split between go find like God's here, God's there? And it ain't like that kind of party at all, man, James. You're saying it. You're saying the words like I do, like to do things for creator, and we're in service, right? That's our job. We're all healers. We're all trying to serve God and serve creator, but we're serving ourselves through self-service and self-healing, and self-care is the only care. So we're doing fucking the right thing. We're checking off multiple boxes with one step here at a time.
Right, right, and encompassing the dream of the Creator. You
And
know,
being fantastic and using our imagination, spreading love, having a lot of gratitude, the mantras that we speak to each other.
Yeah, love is the most powerful force, and the main energy is love, and that's what adheres everything.
Yeah,
And
where's
I
Brother
think
Bob?
we're in a
He's
realm
the
though
greatest.
where we're
He's the greatest.
meant to experience a duality of the absence
A
of
separation of
it,
love. And that's why we
because
spend our
we're
whole lives
expanding
looking in
out.
church
It's
and
like a
right.
matter of consciousness wanting to expand further and further and further.
Fuck, man,
And
you're right. It's a
some
map.
sparks of consciousness decide, oh, I want the illusion of being separate. And that's when all this chaos and darkness occurs.
So it's a
But
map.
ultimately, though, experiencing that duality makes our consciousness grow even more, though. Get what I mean?
Yeah, if it's a map, then which way does the compass point? The compass points towards love because that's what our goal to find is. Love is what we're walking towards because we've been separated from that love, which was the split and the division wasn't left and right. It was love and lack thereof. Lack thereof, love.
Yep.
Love.
And that darkness is just an absence of the light because, like I said, like there are, like I see it as us being sparks of the same divine flame, and we all have free will. So some decided to venture out and try to experience being separate. And but I think eventually all souls would get there and go back to be one again and embrace the oneness.
Go back home. To
Mm-hmm.
come back home.
Yeah.
We're trying to get back home. Hi, Christina.
Hi everybody. It's so good to be here. And yes, Eve, yes, like everything you said resonates. You know, I have been on this journey just like all of you, and you know, the more I know, the more I learn, the more I realize I know nothing, right? But I know for me that I am pure. I am pure of heart. I am honest. I'm not out there to hurt anyone or anything any longer. And I can only walk in my truth and plant seeds because not everybody is ready, right? Like we meet them where they're at. And it's not stupidity. It's more, and I don't mean to say it's ignorance, right? Like they just don't know. You don't know if you don't know. And what I'm coming to see is that, because I have a presence on Facebook too, because I have, you know, a lot of friends that are that are just coming into themselves and starting to wake up. And it just brings me such joy when I see somebody who is so indoctrinated by religion, who resonates with something that I put out there today and says, oh my gosh, we've been lied to all of our lives, you know? And that's that aha moment that all of these people are going to come into. And us, as knowledgeable as we are and as loving as we are, because I know for me, I identify Arcturian. I identify Arcturian with Ashtar. I was even saying to my husband, like, I asked to speak to others, but Ashtar always comes through. And so to be the conduit for Ashtar is like such a blessing for me, you know, and to be able to express, you know, and see how their lives are, you know, and how they live so beautifully and simultaneously with one another in peace, harmony, joy, love, in the greatest ways that are so above like what we feel here as a human, because it's bigger than us, right? Like that love is so big. And just gratitude, I had a near death experience, and I saw all of us in that beautiful light, working and moving in like absolute beautiful, in tandem with one another. Like, the way that I describe it is like we're all cogs in this wheel, and it's flowing perfectly in this beautiful ebb and flow of life, different than as we know it, but still together as one. And it's just beautiful. And and that's what keeps me happy, and that's what keeps me moving forward to my endeavors. Like, I am all about the bees, right? Like, it's all about bees for me. And my gold is honey. It's not money, it's honey. And
Love it. Love that. It's my
I
favorite thing
see
I've
what's
heard in a month.
ahead for me. And I'm grateful, and I have visions of these places that will come into existence for healing and guidance, that are in the shape of a honeycomb, where even people in wheelchairs can come through, to make it accessible for all people, and be able to come through this beautiful honeycomb with bees on either side and bee boxes, to feel their vibration and healing, to come through it, and then at the end feel like a completely different person, hopefully having like an awakening through the process. But yeah.
Thanks for sharing that energy with us and that experience. That it's beautiful.
I love you,
Thank you.
Eddie.
I love you
I
too,
love you,
honey.
Alien. I love you guys
So
all
good
so
to
much.
meet you.
Now in
I
this
just
moment,
good to
let's
see
use
you.
that energy.
Good to see you again.
Please
I
share
missed
the
you
live.
guys too. I missed you guys a lot.
Of course. It's like you don't miss a beat though. Never miss a beat. You know what I mean? You're right back in the tune. Just the song must be, the show must go on, and you're right back on stage with grace. Please like the live. Please tap away. It only takes a couple taps. Let's make this screen a little bit bigger. Then we can tap, 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 download Auto Clicker in the App Store. And then you can just click once, subscribe if you'd like. Please subscribe or at least follow, and go to our link tree on the main page. Follow the YouTube page. See yourself in a YouTube video on YouTube and say, look, Ma, I'm on YouTube. You too can be on YouTube on the newer channel 444 with great discussions, moments like we just had with Christina, welling up my heart full of energy in my grail. We are the Holy Grail. And you fill that cup up, and it's spilling over. This place is spilleth over. Brought to you by Spillething Over. This Thursday, there is spiritual speed dating Thursday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, hosted by Inner Light. If you would like to talk to some people of like-minded souls and a speed dating fun situation, it is very lighthearted, comical, but beautiful, and people are looking for each other, and love is the base, and we're getting to real life. Feet, our boots, on the ground. We are three-dimensional beings in this existence. We got to take our there's this thing called a social awakening too. People realize what's really wrong with the world, and to stay by oneself in a tent. There's other ways to do this, and the only way we're going to be comfortable doing this is physically together. We're trying to do retreats here on the New Earth channel. We are doing retreats. We're not trying. We are succeeding at doing retreats with people that are healers, like-minded souls, medical retreats. Shauna, our lovely friend Shauna, creator and forthright head of the parade in this channel, is doing readings 3 nights a week to raise money for the goals that we have set. Patreon available on YouTube for content unavailable, etc. New GoFundMe account as well. With that all being said, Chris's business with his family, Earth Vibes, is the sponsor. This week's sponsor, Earth Vibes. Follow them on TikTok and on Facebook for all your crystal comparisons without a chime. Infinite You, Tano, what's up, my brothers? What's going on? What do you guys want to talk about?
Oh man, how y'all doing?
Hey, brother.
What up, Christina?
Good to hear you, see you, brother.
Yeah. Oh, you want to see me? Shit, let's do it. Hola.
¿Qué? Hola, ¿qué pasó?
Hola por tu cola. That's a Spanish way of saying, what up, assholes? I love you guys. Y'all are not assholes. What up, Tam?
All my friends are assholes.
Hey, I was listening to you earlier. You were talking about the retreats, and man, I'd really love to help out with, whatever I can.
Yeah.
There's definitely, I don't know what area of the U.S. that you're in, but this is something that I've been doing here in San Antonio with events, and I go to other transformational festivals, and there's like so many things. So what area are you in, Eddie?
The first retreat's planned on being in Pensacola, Florida. For the first one, I'm in Massachusetts.
Okay.
There's a mansion going to be for the first retreat. It's called the Mandela House.
Nice.
Maybe Tia will jump up here and tell you more about that. But we are doing that. So, my name's Eddie. Nice to meet you again, bro. I know we know each other on the book and on the talk and etc. But we're looking at people, obviously, that are not like, I don't call what you want. Let's talk like we're staff, like a staff member. People that are going to do these particular trainings. People that are going to be able to do these healings, these prayers, these workshops, etc. Man.
Y'all have a date set or planned yet?
Again, Tia has more information. She has certain times of the year that she deals with this. It's already a retreat center, and I think it's a few hundred people. She has more of the details when she does it, but they have a season that's more allocated towards. It's going to be during nice weather. It's I know that much.
Yeah.
So I appreciate you even coming front with that information, because we are a little green behind the gills when it comes to actually doing this. I've been working my whole life with event coordinating and planning. I was a bartender for 100 years, got into event coordinating, worked at a big arena in Massachusetts for a number of years, worked at a couple outside at concert venues. I was been playing in rock and metal bands on large stages, and huge amounts of lots of gaffing tape. Okay, bro. So like what I'm talking. There's a lot of fucking shit and rigging, and so I know how it all goes down on the big scale. You have to incorporate this with movement, our own spiritual development, our want to heal others, service of higher self, and service of creator. And we are the creator, Bomb Diggity James. So we're trying to do all that. So I feel your love, man. So
one of the things that I'd recommend, so you can get not be so wet behind the ears, is look in your local area and see if you have any transformational festivals that happen. We're in festival season right now. Some of the smaller ones that are more local, you're going to start finding your community, and that's like what you were saying, where we're going to eventually come together and stop being our own individual node and saying, I'm here for this reason. And it's like, yeah, you were. Now it's time to come together and hug everyone and say, yeah, we did it. Because that's the end game, right? Is to just celebrate in accomplishment, which solidifies and creates that new earth. because we have to be grateful for the world we have yet created, quotation marks, yet.
Right, yeah, I like it.
So Transformational Festival, any of you guys, like these are normally 4 days of camping in the woods with people that are wanting to find more about themselves. And a lot of the times this is more of like within the few states or whatever that are in the area, you start to find your healers that have been working on themselves and are now practitioners and lead workshops. And then when you go into those spaces, Eddie, with your mind and your background, you'll start to see more of the production, the tent, the canopy, how they make the layout space and make it comfortable, safe, and what were the procedures to like get your message all the way through. So these are what transformational festivals will do for any of you guys, just to, because we're all going to be doing this right now.
Yeah, right.
Things are so new. We're going to be creating all of our own spaces. So,
You know, earlier I was saying it's all this, the wisdom's all around us at all times. All knowing is all around us at all times. So it really is figuring out the questions to ask. And once you ask those questions and I can have my transducer connected to what's up, bam, it'll happen. So now you've given me more questions to ask in my direction and my path. So now I can ask and see these things, which I could not about 5 minutes ago, bro. So my guy, it's a secret.
bro, imagine going out in the woods with a community
we're doing
and having a bunch of questions.
You're part of this now.
You wind up, like, for me, sometimes I take extra stakes for my tent, and someone will be like, yo, I forgot my stakes, bro. And I'm like, oh, well, perfect. I actually brought extra stakes. And, you know, and a burner to cook up some eggs in the morning for your family or whatnot. Like, you see how a community can come together and, like, camp out and provide each other these gifts. And
we're changing our currency. We're changing our currency from this attention-based, focusing our attention on whatever bread and circus, yada. You want to go into black portals and TVs and phones, whatever we want to say, our attention. Now that's our current, our electricity, our currency, geomancy, the whole circuitry, bullshit, baloney, reincarnation plan, so to say, if that's the thing, if it is a thing. So we're changing our currency. We're changing our rules of engagement. These lives, like a lot of times AT has said before, when we started, we could be talking about baseball cards. It really doesn't fucking matter because it's about how we're communicating and this level of engagement. Like Stephen Greer, you have to vibrate at a certain level to have engagements with these other relationships. This is more of a finishing school for us to treat ourselves with a whole bunch of adjectives like self-respect, self-love, gratitude, and vibrating at that higher place. So then we can therefore engage, graduated, thus said, finishing school in our rules of engagement and with currency and how to interact with you. We're learning how to fucking get along, I guess.
That's what I was telling my partner.
Exactly. We're playing nice in the sandbox. I keep it simple.
And it's not always
Unity
gonna
consciousness, that's the term I like to use for it.
Beautiful.
Mhm.
You know, I had a vision the other day as I was sitting in a playground filled with sand, and I literally saw all of us as like children, all playing and swing. Some were swinging on swings, some were building sand castles, some were chasing each other, you know, up and down like the like jungle gyms, and it was just so beautiful and magnificent. You know, I'm not perfect, but I try to have perfect days, right? Like I love to have perfect days where I get to, when I lay down, I give thanks for all of the experiences that I have. And I look and I'm like, wow, I did everything right today, you know? And that's gotten, and I'm not saying that with any ego whatsoever. It's just for me because I'm also a recovering alcoholic. And I've been, you know, I was sick for a very long time. And then after my near death, I saw everything. And now I get it. Like, it just took me some time to learn, but now I see it and I get it. And that's why I have no ill will for anyone out there, even the haters, right? I feel bad for them. They're just not there yet, right? They're just not there yet, but they'll get there because no one's left behind in my world. Not one person.
I feel the same way. We have to have compassion for each other and ourselves, and just know, you know, our oneness and have that unity consciousness I mentioned, and you know, most people who fall into addiction, it's just because of trauma they went through and just didn't cope, you know, just use that to self-medicate to try to escape this reality. But you know, that it's possible to overcome. And in my line of work, I deal with people suffering from addiction all the time, and I just send them love and try to, you know, give them the confidence to know that they're powerful, to know their divinity, and that they'll overcome, and they'll shed their trauma, and that life can be beautiful here.
You can create the environment for somebody to heal themselves. That's kind of how it works. You can't like go up and commit
Yeah,
surgery
I'm
on
not saying I'm a healer. I'm trying to.
create an environment. You make
Yeah,
that
I'm trying
environment
to
possible.
show them how to heal
Don't
themselves.
say that.
Anywhere you are, you're
You can't
creating
do
an
it. So you give them the environment or the ability to be vulnerable to themselves. If they feel vulnerable around you and safe around you, that changes their environment. Now I can breathe, and now maybe I can actually look down at this journal and write down some real shadow work and some prompts and some traumas and look at myself and cry by myself like a grown man. Like, you have to do something, right?
That's also why you're creating the retreat, right, Eddie, is to have a larger container of a safe space to allow more souls where you're not necessarily speaking to them, telling them your way, where you're just offering services and guidance through the community. And that's what...
Interesting. Tia, are you on board on your microphone?
Yeah, I'm here. Grand Rise, everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome in. Yeah, I think that we're all over. We're all over. We're everywhere, right? And wherever you are, you know, here I have my own resources, and I'm just utilizing the resources that I've created here locally and bringing them, integrating them with TikTok and building the community. You know, and I think all of us should do that. If you have resources, if you have something that can impact our brothers and sisters in this time, then do so. You know, I'm not in competition with anyone. I encourage people to replicate what I'm doing. You know, we are to be the example wherever you are, you know, to build and lead if that is within you. If that is in you, unleash it, bring it forth.
Replicator.
Thank you enough for taking that action. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to talk over you. But I can't thank you enough for taking action. Like, I've always preached, like, for years I've been making TikTok videos preaching what you put out there and telling people, take action, yada, yada. But, like, granted, like, I just want to help this movement. But I'm, like, overwhelmed because with my job is so intensive, and then I have a kid and all that. But I just want to help in any way I can, because I believe in movements like this, and it can grow into something huge and create that unity consciousness that we need in society.
I resonate that with that woman to woman, because, you know, we do have our, you know, our external reality. I have 4 children, a husband, and job, you know, part-time work as well, and cultivating and doing all of that. So I understand how, because it does take absolute attention, dedication, determination beyond one's right now what may seem capacity to do so.
That's why together we can accomplish more. So, Shauna, thanks for jumping on. I didn't realize that Eddie was talking about you in Florida for the event. So please reach out if you if you need any, you know, anything on my end. I just want to give you guys just a little thing I like to use to manifest, and it's a 3-pillared approach, and it's intention, breath, and movement. And so the way I like to explain that is your intention is the frequency of the cosmos and your heart, because it's non-physical. So whatever you're going into, what do you want out of it? The next step would be the breath. And so the breath is also, it's the first step into the physical and the metaphysical. So you take in this physical breath, because you can feel it in your lungs. And when you hold your breath, allow the frequency of your heart to resonate through your breath, and just know that when you exhale that breath goes out to this quantum field, this holographic matrix from your heart. The next step is the movement, And so that could be dance, that could be, you know, moving to meditate, moving to eat right. But to me, it is equated to the action steps within my localized community. So in 2014, for me, the movement involved community gardens and food forestry and looking at an empty lot in the neighborhood. And I didn't ever build that community garden, but it led me to my children's school, who had just won $20,000 from a Spurs Team Up Challenge to build their own garden. And I helped them on day one. And within 2 years, they became the 7th healthiest school in the nation with food forestry. They were providing food from the garden in the cafeteria. They got a grant to get a 20-foot tall water harvesting cistern, solar drip irrigation, they're composting, they're recycling, and garden-based curriculum is now in every classroom at that elementary school. And so these are the ways that this 3-pillar has worked for me. And I'm just, you know, speaking my truth. And if anybody wants to play with that, you know, especially if you have children, go to their school and just ask, do y'all have a garden program or do I have that? And I could actually show you how they, for free, can start putting sustainable based curriculum and garden based curriculum in their school through other organizations. So that's just the 3 pillars: intention, breath, and movement. And movement is we got to show up for ourselves.
Yeah, right on point with that. Because I just was having a conversation with my Lyft driver today about school lunch and school food. And we were talking about a little bit about, you know, the political, you know, conversation. And that's how we led to the schools and what, you know, what goes on. And we have children. So we touched on that. And my daughter was in the car with me. And she was just talking about a governor that was, you know, making sure that every child gets free lunch and breakfast and lunch. And so I was like, yeah, you know, the food though. I mean, they don't even eat it. They come home, they're very hungry and refusing it. So we definitely need to bring more, you know, actual food and nutrition in there. And you know, and so yeah, so that was the point on the garden in the school. So I definitely look into that.
Yeah, I have to say, because I lived in Italy for 3 months, this country, I feel so bad for our children. It's just terrible. And it needs to change. It's for the future for our children. And that's why you know, my kids are all grown. I have a grandson, my daughter and I. She chooses not to have me in her life, but everything that I do is for the kids today. I put myself out of the equation. I move forward with the thought of the children, the animals, and Mother Earth today. Everything else doesn't matter, you know, and I just keep moving towards and forward with that endeavor to teach. And here's the thing, like, they know that they're feeding us crap, right? They know that. And it's a matter of us standing together as one to say, we deserve better. Our children deserve better. And we are done. This no longer has any room in my life. And yeah, we could be the change that everybody wants to be, but we need to stand united when it comes down to that 3-letter acronym, you know, that we know that starts with an F and ends with an A, that knows exactly what they're doing.
You know, Christina, it starts to change when we come into that actual awakening, the societal awakening, you know, collectively. We realizing all of the poisons that do exist in our materialism, in our physical reality. And as we bring awareness, we bring change.
Yeah, I agree with you, honey, 100%.
Eddie, I wanna throw something out, because this is something, you know, because I've been hosting some events here in town and whatnot, and one of the moves that I'm looking at, you know, Shauna mentioned it, you know, we're here to inspire others. We're not like, oh, here, like, I came up with this thing, I'm not going to tell you about it, it's such a cool thing. I want to share this and let y'all, like, see if this might work for y'all. But one of the moves I'm making to get away from having people to pay for tickets to come to an event, would be to the way that they pay is by doing community service within the city or whatever town that you will be having the event. And then you can get sponsorships and grants and get your space paid for, and make money from that through the people that actually have the money, and they got to get rid of it every quarter in the first quarter. And then there's apps that can be made super simple, and each city pretty much has some advocacy group that is normally a nonprofit that either works with the food policies of their city. They work with cleaning up the riverways and waterways and stuff. You've got volunteers that are already embedded in each of these locations. So if you are doing something in Florida, you can find some of these advocacy organizations and start working with them. And if you have time, I don't know when you'll have this scheduled, Sean, I know you had more information, but if you have some time in advance to like put the word out and you have the event space already, that you can start having people go do the volunteerism, for 3 months before the event, and you can make an app where they can start accruing hours and knock off the price of the event. You can still have it a priced event, but you can really push. We want you to go and be an active participant in this world and put a garden there, go help volunteer over here. Let's feed the homeless over there, things like that. So that might be a really good way to get money from lawyers, doctors, other big businesses, oil change shop, like all these places that you can look into, especially the ones that are trying to be more healthy. Cold pressed juice places, other organizations like that. So that may be a way for y'all to start creating a sponsorship packet and not worry about your ticket price and the price for performing artists and paying people to show up and travel and stuff like that.
I appreciate you so much right now, man.
That's so awesome. Thank you for that knowledge. And I love that idea.
I put in a lot of fucking work to get here, a lot of tears, a lot of blood and sweat. Like I have been trekking uphill, which would have seemed alone for a long time. And I have children. I have 3 daughters.
Hey, bro. It's love.
Like, it's not for me. I am a creator, and I have created creations. And this is for them. I come to clean up house and say, you know what? Y'all deserve the best opportunity. And this place ain't it. And so we breathe it, we do it, we walk it, we talk it. And if we got to call other people out on holding back the collective, then I'm also here for that shit too, because that's my energy signature. I can do that. Not everybody can do each individual thing. And I think it was Eve the dog, I think you were saying how it's difficult to manage all these different things. I highly advise looking into your human design chart and see where your energy centers lie. And if you have the energy to do it, you may not want to push yourself if you're a projector to handle doing all these multitasking. That would be someone like myself. I fucking love it. I'm in it. I do it. Look, I made a list here. My partner was like, what are we going to make this business?
My man. You usually you got email on your account too. I would definitely want to move. Are you on Discord?
Not on Discord, but I got my website.
Email program or something. I'd like with Tia and I.
I am on Discord.
Tia and I have pretty much been going hand in hand with this for a couple of months with this channel, and we're both manifesting generators. So we're asking AI just the other night, like, how do 2 manifesting generators work off of each other in a business relationship as business partners? Mm-hmm. And that shit lit up. It's like, you guys are killing it in the game. You're doing it. You work together. You're making it happen. You're self-reliant. You're self-supportive. Both want to see each other win. So the others, it's like, there's no anti-flow.
Mm-hmm.
So I get excited you brought up human design, I suppose, but continue.
I'm a projector, and so as a manifesting generator, she's here to clean up a lot of the little things that I'm dropping all the time. So for you guys, y'all could probably take notes on making sure y'all are cleaning up each other's things that you're dropping as a side note for each other. But my partner's really good at that. And so the things that I wrote down, because I have a whole list, like San Antonio is a cosmic city. So I want to do cosmic city tours, take them a van around the city and show them where I had a 4-foot ET with a human head experience, where I saw a UFO when I was a teenager. All these different places that are also show San Antonio being a cosmic city. My event, the Mayan Day Out of Time celebration, happens on 7/25 every year. I want to make that a citywide event. Our Infinite You Journey app is going to use human design, the galactic calendar system, which is a 13-month, 28-day calendar system, and cartography along with your personal journey to crosshair all that information as you do a living life review, not a near-death review. You can do it while you're living and kind of sit with yourself and go, I was born here. This was the cosmic undertone. This is my design. I moved there. Mom and dad split up. This is the cosmic undertone. This is my transits. This is where I, my astrocartography along solar eclipse paths, all this stuff. So that's an app we're developing. Our online.
I've been looking for a Cliff's Notes version of this, looking for for dummies, the Orange Home Depot book. The 13 month, I've been trying to manifest with communication to others the 13-month cycle and our 28-day cycle of our chrism production of our sacred secretion down into our chalice at the bottom, fused 5 up to 33 to pressurize our pineal gland. That routine for us seems like something so plausible. So like on these 3 days or these 5 days, or like how much is that going in? Why are we not taking advantage of this? And I've heard now you're not supposed to do it on the manifestation. You know what I'm talking about. Like this needs to sit down and just be talked about, like more like everyone have their calendar for real, like on a 28-day cycle. And because we get this chance once a month, we get the chance to make this shit and either do what we will with it or let it or pressurize it through like breath work, Brahma work, fucking spinal cord. I roll around on the back outside this summer now like a turtle that can't be rescued on its back, just trying to work my spine and crack it. Gabe knows that lower spine we were trying to design with PVC tubes. It's like literally like crack a spine. It's like all we are is electric nervous system through our spine, and that's the magic wand. We are our fucking this, basically walking around and doing that.
I created my daughter in a transit with human design where I was fully defined with all my centers for 51 days straight, and in the middle of that we conceived our youngest daughter, Violet Ray Sunshine, on a healthy dose of an entheogenic, and I saw her holographic pyramid go into my partner's womb, but I actually pulled it in through intention, breath work, and a movement where I mixed my arms like this and that, and then I went, and look, TMI, but we were still.
Your wife you're talking about, bro? That's the most amazing story I ever heard in my life.
Dude, I didn't.
Magical now? What's her name?
Violet Ray Sunshine.
Yeah, when the blue light comes from the pillar from Mount Meru at the North Pole and the magnetic Rufus Negros and the pillar of light, which is the light of the world, is blue. And then the red comes down from the other side of the top, how that works. Then it creates purple. It creates that violet color of our highest one is when the blue and the red meet. That's when the sky will turn in the signs of God and et cetera, et cetera.
Dude, so
and we were following each other around yesterday, and we saw each other in Tass's live yesterday, Philosopher's Stone, right?
Right, yep.
Right, and I was like, oh, confirmation Philosopher's Stone, and here we be, maybe.
I brought Philosopher's Stones came to me in 2018, right before I had already planned a gridding activation on this city where we were going to position ourselves 6 miles out from downtown San Antonio and look in. And I'd never led anything like that. I had seen my homies do that as they travel around the world. Gridding locations and sacred sites and clearing up portals. I was doing one for the first time because I was prompted to, and I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. I thought my buddy was going to help me. He was like, Harold, this is on you. And I was like, whoa, all right, so what are we even doing? So I looked on a map, I started picking things out, but it all came together. And then, then the stones come to me. And my buddy's like, these are for gridding the planet. Here, let me gift you them. And he fucking hooked us up with over $200 worth of tektites that we gridded on 4 directions of San Antonio, honoring the 7 directions: north, south, east, west, above, below, center. And we projected heaven on earth from our hearts for the last couple minutes of a song that I chose called Dragon's Mist by Desert Dwellers. And now I'm friends with one of the DJs from Desert Dwellers, and his father's ashes are in this pendant surrounding a Philosopher's Stone that I finally put in an orgonite device. So the city is a cosmic city. We're here to show that, and I can show exactly how planet mechanics and how we're inherently connected to the planet through the soles of our feet as we connect to the sun, and we program mycelium. We drum, we dance, we stomp our feet, and we program the aquifer waters below. And then they
That's right.
yeah, a pressurized. And San Antonio is actually in a spot where the water used to flow naturally with over 100 natural artesian springs, but since the early 1900s has zero because of overpopulation, drilling, and San Antonio is fed by its own fucking lifeblood, which is the water. This is the only city that pulls this clean water out of the Edwards Aquifer. And we drink it here, and it's what we need to survive to grow food and everything. So this place has been in a stop zone of where the water used to flow naturally. And it's so crazy because there's the San Antonio River is connected to the Eridanus constellation and it looks like a snake, but it's a river. And when it gets to the end, it connects to the Phoenix constellation. My daughter goes to a Montessori school, Monte Vista Montessori, and their logo is a fucking red phoenix.
And there's a blue phoenix. The center of the fire is blue, and there is a blue phoenix.
That's what. Thank you for saying blue. So there's the large artesian well that the San Antonio or Yanaguana River would flow out of is the blue hole. That's what they call it, the blue hole, and she's dry. Mm-hmm. And so the dams above are holding a lot of the water, but as we see, the rivers are filling in the hill country, the dams are breaching naturally, and all kinds of shit's happening. But that water needs to go through the Trinity Aquifer because it's more dense. It cleanses the really bad particulates and pollutants, and then it goes into the Edwards Aquifer, which is more like a flowing river underneath from Austin all the way down to San Antonio. So this is
serpent. So the serpent, if you've ever seen the symbol of the snake biting its own tail, I'm wearing a ring of that freaking thing right now. That thing is called the Oribus, one word Oribus, which is the same kind of word as Aurora Borealis. The world snake around the ocean opens to the sky and turns what color? The Aurora Borealis, purple, because of the combination of blue and red. So the world snake is the Oribus, like the Neverending Story, the Oracle. The Oribus, anyways, is the Aurora Borealis, which is the combination of the two colors for the plasma event that's upon us. Yeah. The aquifer is underneath the negative water ions, underneath the Great Pyramid of Giza, underneath Nikola Tesla's Wardenclyffe Tower was an underwater aquifer. So these things built upon, if there's an underwater aquifer with negative ions going, and the positive ions, that's how they do the ethereal buildings. In churches, which we know as cathedrals, underneath they had these things, they called them cisterns for water. They weren't housing holy water. It was architecturally sound to hold water down there. Using the frequency of the building itself would make that water resonate to water stuff underneath again. And as the temple on top would reach the power combine in the middle. So if there's an underwater natural aquifer on the ground and you, my friend, are standing above it, now you are that temple of the tower. You are the pyramid now. So you are working the system, bro.
That's why we put the stones in the places that we did. After we did that, I've had a random person reach out to me that channels and stuff, and she had already read into me and told me that I built some blue pyramid over the city. And, this is where the Battle of the Alamo. So even the impression of the city is like battling and doom and destruction and warring. Like, oh, remember the Alamo. I want to have a slogan for this city called Remember the Waters. And then also change it to the Cosmic City, because it has been known that for thousands of years. There's like, so, this frequency went out for me and I was dreaming this dream and I'm like, man, this city needs the water back. They need to be paying attention to this and that and rebuild it. And then when I discovered the 2 solar eclipses coming through Texas, and I wanted to hold a large event and have people do what I told you earlier, build gardens throughout the city. I went to politicians, to business people and all this stuff and started revisiting my city. And since 2017, they brought in over $1 billion to bring the natural waterways back, to put plaques up where I went and I'm like, what the fuck? They literally have it on the thing where it says San Antonio is a cosmic city in history for 12,000 years. It's on places within the city that someone got approved. I'm walking around like, who approved this? How did they get? I want to put some of what my verbiage up on the city. But this place, if you look at it too, it has this Tower of Americas, which is a long, like the Space Needle in Seattle. And it has this thing up on top. And it's just a long tower and this thing up on top. And it looks like it can be converted into a Tesla tower. Retrofit.
Okay, now, what's the name of this building?
Tower of the Americas.
Okay, now does it look older? The Tower of the Americas.
Built in 1968 for the San
It was
Antonio.
built in 1968 for a World's Fair. No, man, it wasn't built in like the 1900s. It's not like an old world building.
No, there's other buildings like that. There's cathedrals.
Yeah.
The Alamo was because it was rebuilt by the military.
When was the Great Fire? When was the Great Fire of San Antonio?
So I don't know if there was a Great Fire, but I think
Oh, I'm sure there was. I'll find it.
I haven't
Someone,
found it.
someone in the comments, please Google that.
Yeah, so there's a place in San Antonio called Hot Wells Ruins, and it used to be it was a mansion where the rich and famous would come in. It was a bathhouse that had hot springs coming up from the river, and on the other side of it, there's an insane asylum. So this place had all these magical like healing properties because of the water. The more I dove into it, the guy that owned it in the late 1800s was rich type trail, and they would have their international fairs, and I found a clipping that shows incubator babies was on the top of the list. So they repopulated this city for sure. But I'm not sure if it was a fire or if it was like a battle where they took people out. But you know what? You're right. Because
When was the Great Fire of San Antonio?
yeah, see if you find something. But I did find out through my partner's cousin's boyfriend who works for the city that underneath downtown San Antonio, there is a layer of lead.
What was the Great Fire of San Antonio?
And I may ask a question. So, did you ever try dowsing? Do you know of dowsing techniques?
I haven't yet.
That's something I learned. All you have to do is you just get 2 pieces of thin metal, like if you can find a wire hanger, and cut it so it has 2 handles, and then bend it so there's like it's horizontal to each other, like a big L shape, but just a smaller handle. And you'll be able to find more water sources utilizing dowsing methods.
The funny thing is all the I would probably take me to the golf courses and all the municipal places that use our good water to water their chemical ground. But yeah, there's the aquifer is in the Edwards Aquifer is below its threshold to have pressure to spit water out of the artesian wells. It's like the
1925. How many buildings are there?
You found something?
Yeah, it was 1925. There was a Great Fire of San Antonio. They burnt down every building in the United States and Canada, every city. I mean, pick a city in the United States, pick one, Dover, Cleveland, Ohio, anyone, and you say Great Fire. They all happened between 1850 and 1925 when they demolished, and they weren't fires, they were bombings, obviously, like planes and bombs. And no one ever died in any of these fires. You want to know why? No one died in these fires? Because no one freaking lived there. There was no population. No one was there. And they bombed these old buildings like with bombs, like they did 10 years later in Germany in World War II. It's like, oh no, it's fires. Nah, bro.
I think it was like a great reset.
Yes.
Yeah, a previous reset. Yeah, 250 years ago, maybe 300 years ago max.
I feel like we're entering into that now. I'm connected to like the weather and tectonic plates, and I feel something big's gonna be happening here. And this is not to instill any type of fear, but like I feel the earth shaking underneath me, right? Without it actually showing anything. Like my teeth are vibrating right now, and like, you know, we are due for a massive earthquake in this country, and I feel
that you don't want to. If you focus on that timeline, like granted, I've had.
I don't put a
many natural
timeline
disaster
on it.
dreams like that.
Yeah,
Just had
I
one
don't.
last night. But that's not the timeline we want to be in. We want to quantum jump into the timeline of the greatest good for all. We want to focus on
Oh, my fucking phone died. God.
a good timeline.
No, I agree with you, Eve, but awareness is important for preparation. That's the only reason why I share it. I can't help what I feel, right? And when I'm prompted to share it, I share it. And it's just to make ourselves aware that
what bad things are happening. No,
Well, it's
anything that
not, I don't
happens
even
is
want
still
to say
good.
it bad. It's not bad. It's the
Okay.
natural order of things. And we
So
can,
what are we talking about?
you know,
Plasma
change, you
apocalypse?
know,
Do you guys want
skip
to
the
talk about the
timeline.
plasma apocalypse and the upcoming events of the rapture and plasma apocalypse? Probably not. It's 111 here in Boston. Let's give it up for New Earth Channel 444. Please like, subscribe, tap away. Download the Auto Clicker app free in the App Store and click it once and like the crap out of something. Subscribe to our YouTube channel for our link tree on our bio. Let's give it up for Tia doing her own fundraising during the week now. Reading the C Tia on the All Account Live. She's also doing money raised towards a Patreon account, a GoFundMe rather, donations, subscriptions, and a Patreon account. So help out. Just do one of those things, many things. Mostly tap, share, make sure you're following, subscribed. Go to the YouTube. We're trying to get that YouTube number up tremendously. And that's a hurdle for us and a goal that was set. So help others achieve their goals by not doing much. So
And
after
thank you
the
so much.
let's go to past the end of the world scenario. So all this stuff happens, and now we all come out of the caves with the ant people, and we stretch our arms, and it's a nice day again. Then what? Let's start there.
I have no fear because I know our souls are
Yeah, ready
eternal
for
and we'll
throw?
just be off
You
to the
thinking?
next adventure no matter what, you know? But really, like I said, so the evil forces try to, like, they don't have true power and they try to get the collective, like, our reality here is just a projection of the collective consciousness. So they do predictive programming and put out movies and other things to lead us to believe that that timeline will happen. Well, that timeline will only happen if we collectively believe it will. So we just have to focus on a timeline of the greatest good for all. And that's what we will collectively manifest.
Yeah, I've heard the same thing. Collective manifestation on a collective level and with intention behind it.
And that's why, like, and I remember, and I don't know if the gentleman's still here, he mentioned doing grid work. That's important to raise the vibration of this world, send those good vibes to the collective consciousness and to the energy grid of this planet. It's really vital that we have no fear, that we're just in a love vibration. We raise the collective so that we do manifest, the greatest good for us.
Yeah, rise up, elevate, enlighten.
That's why, like, I'm here right now because I believe in this movement. What you guys are starting could grow to be a huge movement in every nation. Like, this could potentially, we are meant to be our own saviors. So this is the way to start, like creating a movement of people who are, also light workers.
When we send out that beacon from within ourselves, we attract how we feel, not what we want. That's what we manifest as how I am. Not how I want to feel, but how I'm actually feeling is my beacon signal. That's how I tune into a certain frequencies. I tune myself to it. So what is probably going to happen in this situation is that we're going to be creating this thing, which we are, and we're going to attract another fucking group that's doing the same exact thing, and it's going to merge into one, and then two other ones like that are coming up, and then there'll be two of those, and they'll be like, you know what I'm saying? So it'll be like absorptive. It's not like one thing. It's like, this was the way they figured it out. No one figured out shit. No one's ever figured out shit from day one till now. Probably not ever. And that's fine. But we'll find like-minded frequencies of a collective manifestation, a collective group of people that are collectively making that frequency the same towards the group.
So the way I do it, Eve, I love the way that you, and I want to just back off of that because when I go out and I'm grounding and I'm in meditation, I send my energy of love down into Mother Earth to connect with all of the roots of the trees so that it can go up into the roots of the trees, up through the trunk, up down through the branches into the leaves, and then create it as oxygen so that everybody that's breathing it will feel that love as well. So it's just like this giant toroidal field of love that's how I do it and how I see it. And it's like That's the ley line work. That's the grid work. That's you know, it doesn't, you don't even have to move doing it, right? Like, it's just there. And it's beautiful. And I love that you shared that. And I loved how you worded it. And I just wanted to share how I did it to, you know, as a suggestion for anybody
Yeah,
that.
I practice that too. And also, did you ever happen to find a map about the ley lines and where the energy vortexes are? Like, Eddie, you're in Massachusetts too. So one major one of the world is in Shelburne Falls, Massachusetts. I know it's odd. I was always attracted to going there and hanging out in this particular river that where they call the potholes because glacier smoothed it out and made like pothole like things. And I was just always attracted to that town and would just hang out there in nature there. And it this major energy vortex. And now that I'm aware of it, whenever I happen to travel through that town, I feel as though that energy grid does connect to the collective consciousness, and I just send out intentions of like peace, love, unity, all that, you know. I believe that, you know, we are meant to be energy workers like that, and we all happen to come together because we are all light workers, and this movement was meant to happen, and it will grow, especially when we have the intention for it to grow.
Footprints only appear when we move.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if
And
that
like
really means anything, but you just
yeah,
have to put the footprints, like you're leaving your footprints there, you know, fucking.
I'm so excited to see this because like for the longest time, for years, I've been preaching, we got to take action. But did I personally take action to start a movement? And then when I came across this movement of people creating this collective that's has the aim to do just that, like I'm so excited for it.
So let's actually do it is what we're trying
Yes.
to do. So please
Like not give
subscribe,
up,
like,
vow to not give up
what
and
needs
keep
to
at it.
happen is people all want to do the same shit, and nobody knows like the whole report about the blip story. Keep the blip story in mind with any promotion because everyone's weird about everything, and I am too. All we need is a larger audience. That's all we all need is a bigger crowd, and literally that's what we're talking about: the 3D and this world and that world, etc. Blah blah blah. Right? All the Willy Wallies all fit that mold of audience. So we need to expand our audience and territory. And what a unique opportunity to have something like TikTok where we can have experiences and all be different people. And, you know, it's like we got what we have to work with is what we have to work with. There are many people that come in and they're like, I am Voltar 7 Ascender from Zarpanok Nok Nikni Dungeon Master 5. And you know, bro, you're not. It's like, no, I was in the Akashic Records last. It's like, no, Darren, you were not in the Akashic Records. Shut up. You know, so we got to understand where everything's coming from, and it's all valid, it's all good. But there's some real players out in this house, man. I'm telling you, there's some fucking people that fucking, you know, I don't know what it is, kid, but you got it, that kind of thing, you know?
Well, Eddie,
Yo.
Sorry. I just want to give, you know, hats off and credit where credit's due. Eddie has been amazing and great. Like I was supposed to host today, but I had to do orientation and he steps up and every time just been behind the scenes working really diligently, you know, determined, focused. I mean, it's been an amazing experience to be working with him and be matched with my own energy. That's an experience in myself, that somebody that has that intention and that determination and that the sacrifice that it takes, you know, truly we are surrendering to the will of our creator, and to experience that in other people, it's been profoundly amazing. And I experienced that in Eddie O.
Well, I'm glad you're here. I'm going to go have a cigarette. Why don't you take over?
Okay.
Hey,
But go
you
ahead.
have a kid to say something?
Go ahead, Tan. No.
I guess I'll apologize to the all for, you know, things that happened in the past and the choices that I've made. I feel like it conflicted with my own true nature or my spirit, and I kind of like got lost in it in a way. And I feel like recently I've kind of like returned to, I guess, my center of my own universe instead of like taking other people's suggestions or even like as my own in a way. And then also like I got like a visual when you guys were talking of like a bowling ball game. So like, you know, like if you bowl by yourself, you got to bowl 3, 10, you know, 3 strikes or all strikes to get the, you know, the 300. But if you have if you have like 10 people, or it's like 12 or 13 people that bowl just 1 strike, and everyone, you know, we all take turns, it's pretty much what you're building right now on this channel. It's like, it's almost like everyone's bowling their own, they just need to bowl 1 strike, and that's it, instead of like bowling all the strikes on their own. It's like a unity 300 in a way, or even like a way of achieving something great as a whole, or as a team in a way.
This is Sparta. I'm just kidding. When you said the 300, I kept hearing that. Like
Oh, and now I'm
busting our
picturing
way through, yeah, with light frequency.
I'm picturing
Yeah.
the men from that movie down too.
Yes, I had that vision in my head too, like so hard. I was like, yeah, I love all that energetic. We're gonna just say energetic because there's peace and harmony in my heart, and it dominates, right? But energetically, when he was saying that, definitely. And Tan, you know, I had a place in my heart always, and I have, you know, that's one of my gifts that I possess and always had, is true, the will, the easy will to forgive. Always. Forgiveness is something normal for me. Actually, it comes easy, and I'm grateful for that. So, and yeah, you already know, my intention. You've been knowing me over 2 years, and no matter what the imperfections on the outside or what's going on, because you already, there is an influence impact. And if we allow it to be that, it will be that. So staying focused, and creating and putting that intention, and I always knew you would come back around. You would come to, you always do. So I have faith in that. And because we are walking truly, striving to be the best version of ourselves. And that is a true signature within us. It's distinctive and it's very definite. It's recognizable. It illuminates. It's in the heart. And so even if we do get off that path here and there, those that have that intentionally, instilled in their heart always come back. They always come back to your illuminated path. The light is always lighting it up and directing us and letting us know which way to go, which way to take, and how to be, most of all.
Wow, that's so profound. Like this is making my heart feel so good seeing this. And please let me know if there's any way I can help you. Like unfortunately, like hosting lives and stuff isn't my strong suit. I get flustered. But there's other things I can do. Like my strong suit would be like making videos. If say you need like advertising video, I could help with that somehow. If you'd like, and send you like video clips that are beautiful that you could utilize to help advertise this. And also, are you already on YouTube?
Yes. And
Oh,
the
good.
link is in the bio. If you hit the link tree, take you to all of our platforms. We got
Okay, good.
YouTube. We're working on the 50 subscribers so that we can go live on that and simultaneously go live on TikTok and YouTube at the same time. So help us, if you're not already subscribing, subscribe to that YouTube channel.
I'll do that. And then
I've been working at this just a little over 2 months. And so it's really grown and gone a long way. So I definitely feel what you were speaking of earlier, where we could take this. It is truly the value of us and the power of us and the technology of us, our willpower of how dedicated and determined and how bad do we want it? Truly, because
I want this. This is what I always wanted. So I'm so happy to see it underway. And another suggestion, and like I'm going to promote this too. Like make a TikTok video mentioning this movement and asking others to help make it grow, and then asking them to do the same and get the word out there. And because word of mouth about this movement is the greatest way to have it spread too.
Actually, it's the best way. Truly, it is. Speak from one's heart and one's experience. That's the best. It doesn't get any better than that.
Are y'all planning on turning it into like a business and get like an official business name and do something?
Yes, we have. Yeah, eventually we do. See, I already have the resources here locally, so we're all scattered, right, as TikTok does, right? But we're just growing. Right now, we're focused on growing the channel, growing it into those numbers that's needed to be successful for everything that we do and put our attention and time into. I'm really would intentionally want a gathering in April by next year. But that's on, I don't have a date set. It's on divine timing. And when we do move forward, I will be putting. Okay, yes, it is. I will be putting out, networking it and putting out a registration form, and and we'll get there. We're just here right now. We're in the now.
And maybe I can ask my mom to help because she has
well, we're going to start
marketing.
We're going to do a DBA, probably just doing business as account for a business license. For now, to start off, just do a DBA. It's only $50, and you last a couple of years just to get the paperwork started. Do you prefer to be called Infinite You? Do you want to be called something else, bro?
My name's Harold.
All right, Harold.
My name's
DBA, as far as I got on that, we've been talking. I know there's a lot involved with starting a 501c3. So these conversations.
Look into 508s.
Really? Now, see, this is what
that's more of like a church.
If we want to talk about something other than paperwork, though, on this conversation. Hey, SoFire in the house. What's up, SoFire Wisdom? Come enlighten my love. Come and get your love.
Hey, do y'all remember that movie? Which one is it? The Endgame, like one of the Avengers ones or something, where Thor has to go and make a new hammer or whatever?
Yeah.
He has to go in that thing, and the sun is like going through him, and he's got to. That's what we're doing. So I wanted to say this, and my phone died, but Christina was, feeling the energy of the earth and, these changes that are coming. I feel like another part of what we came here to do is like kind of bear some of that weight. And so that's what we're doing, almost like that energy from the sun and we're just kind of holding it together. And I think we're on a timeline where we've stopped a lot of the large like earth movements and cataclysms. And that's the work that we're doing when we get to the core, is like we're holding this stitching together in a sense.
Yeah, Peter Dinklage was the giant.
Yeah, right.
The pillars, Hercules and the pillars, holding the two pillars of Hercules are the two witnesses of the birth that came from the mountain, which I believe is Mount Meru. And when those pillars of Hercules are actually the anode and the cathode, the two other pillars holding up the sky, Native American story about all of the wizards and warriors and fucking shamans and doctors were holding up the sky. Atlas, you see the picture of Atlas, the god, right? What's he doing? Going like this, holding the world on his back. That's fucking bullshit. Someone changed the storyline. Atlas, the story of Atlas, is he's holding up the sky. This whole bullshit with a globe on his back is made by fucking Rice Krispie treats and Rockefeller. That's not Atlas. It never has been Atlas. It was never a story of him carrying the earth on his back. No, he held the lens cap. We're all talking about cameras, lenses. When James was talking about how our lenses work, lens through a lens and a spoon, upside down spoon. So to see things like they really are is fun, but sometimes futile. That's why we've all gone within. When we say like, yo, meet me in the middle, I'm not saying look halfway what I'm saying, I'll look halfway at you. I'm saying meet me in the middle. Like I'll go in my middle, you go in your middle. Let's meet in the middle. I'm saying that. I just said that like the first time yesterday, but I'm saying it like I've been saying it.
Yeah. Sedona backwards is anodes.
My guy.
And Enchanted Rock is another sacred site that I would recommend for people to have on their journey. It's a natural 450-foot granite dome that comes out of the earth, and it's like probably the size of, what is the Eiffel Tower or something that's in the earth. And it's connected to these water ley lines that come up from the Mayan ruins up Mexico. It's to Monterrey. It splits. Where half goes to San Antonio, Austin, and Enchanted Rock, and the other half goes to Sedona. So it's almost like anodes and cathodes and
right. Probably some waterways underneath. I wonder if we could get like grants and have people like take us to places and somehow finagle a bagel with that. Like it's like this is the retreat center, but now this is an outboard retreat where it's like destination location. If we're going Machu Picchu or fucking, so I'm kind of different locations.
I did have experience grant writing before. I never wrote an actual one, but in college, in one of the courses I took, since I was studying